also talked about when you're teaching, it's better to go in group than be a single individual. Like there is more productivity, there's more output when you go in group.
Okay.
And we also talked about knowledge of the environment, what is in vogue at a particular time, how the market is moving at a specific time.
Yeah.
And
what did you take out of it? So you're telling me all the things we touched, but personally, so after yesterday, what did you take out of it?
Okay. I think the knowledge part, the 3 Ks is basically what makes
3 Ks.
Yes.
What's that?
Knowledge of your environment.
Okay.
So you have to go in line with what is happening at a particular period of time.
Okay.
You have to know how to package your products.
Okay.
That's I learned that most times people go for the looks of the products, not the content.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I have other questions I'm going to ask. Okay, so let me start with introducing myself. So my name is Mimshak. Mimshak. No title. I know you've met doctors and bishops here. Oh, you met my chairman and my ogas. I'm just Mimshak, small boy. I started my career in architecture. I studied architecture, practiced for a bit, got bored, and then went into teaching, did some venture capital, did some startup support. Now I run a tech company. The first thing I need you to know about me is that I'm very controversial, right? Like my brain works in reverse. So anything I hear, I start with not agreeing. I'm not saying it's the right way to go. It's just sort of how I am wired. So for example, when I ask every session I've done, when I ask people what they learned before, everything you say, I just start with, well, I don't agree. Right. So every panel I've ever been on, I always, if I don't speak first, if I speak last, I start with disagreeing with everything everybody else has said before I now go in. So it puts me in a very interesting place. So I'm going to be sort of attacking, hopefully, some of the concepts that you have in your mind. But one of the things I love is I love a good debate. So I'm very, very happy for you to disagree with me, right? Growing up, my mom, so I was raised by a single mom, and this is the first personal story I'm sharing in a class. And because my dad wasn't around, I had too many father figures. So my mom had a very interesting way of raising me, particularly. If I ever thought of doing something or mentioned I was going to do something or watched a movie and saw something that I admired that wasn't in line with how she thought my life should go or what I should do, she wouldn't say anything. We had a lot of pastors come to the house often. So all of a sudden, all the pastors will start visiting and they start talking about the same thing. So I'll give an example. So we're watching a movie one day and there was this guy that had like really nice braids on his hair. Like, oh my God, I love that. I want to keep my hair. She didn't say anything. She didn't say, don't keep your hair or keep your hair, nothing. She didn't say anything. All of a sudden, the pastor starts visiting the house and everyone starts talking about how it's wrong for a man to plait his hair. It's wrong for a man to keep long hair. I'm like, okay, right? So that was sort of how she guided. So if everybody says it, it had to be true, right? So that's how she sort of guided me until, this is the straw that broke the camel's back, until it was time for me to get into university. And I bought JAMB form and I had to feel, what course should I study? And she too didn't know what course she thought I should study, right? So all these pastors again came around the house. And unfortunately, for the first time, they didn't have a unified voice. One pastor said, you should do engineering. You are good in math. Engineering will be good for you. Another pastor comes and says, oh no, I think you should study the medicine. You look like a meticulous person. Doctor will fit you. Another one said, no, doctors don't have money. You should, oh my God. After their sessions, I was confused. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom, I'm so confused. What do I study? And she said, I said that this Pastor A said this, Pastor B said this, Pastor D, all of them. If I know, no two pastors said the same thing. So it was not, so I couldn't even say majority. Let me go with the majority, right? Everybody said something totally different. And then she taught me one of the time, I'm going to do a book. I promised I'm going to do a book, Lessons from My Mom, right? And this was one of the lessons I learned. She said, oh my, you misunderstood me. I don't bring these people to tell you what to do. Like, really? I felt like this is like, no. They said, no, they only come so that you have enough information to make an informed decision. They said, so inevitably, your life is your responsibility. And whatever you do with it is your business. If you turn out to be successful, it's for you. If you turn out to be a failure, it's for you. But I never want you to go around blaming somebody else for your failure or saying that you owe somebody else your success. You should be your own man and own your decisions. And that's the day my mom broke me. Because after that day, it's like, so I'm an extremist. Anything I do, I take to the end. After that day, like, oh my God, I can make my decisions myself. Oh no, she shouldn't have said that. Because now, after that, literally, she says, everybody says it now, like, Mimshak is what is in his heart that you will do. So you can talk to me like, hey, like, end of the day, it's my decision. So what I want to know today is that everything all the facilitators are saying to you is just information. At the end of the day, it's your decision. It's your business. Feel free to disagree with what we've said, right? One of the best business classes I attended in the US, the facilitator came in and the first thing he said was, honestly, I don't have any answers. That's the first thing he said. I don't have any answers. He said, will your business succeed or fail? I don't know. You don't know. So the same thing, all we're going to teach you or talk to you about are principles, are ideas that we think would work. They might have worked for somebody else. Will they work for you? We don't know. We don't know what will work for you, honestly. So feel free to take that information, right? Distill it, disagree with what you want to disagree with, agree with the things that you want to agree with, right? And run, just the main essence is run a successful business. All right, so that being said, I'm going to talk about two things before I go into my class for today. The first thing is expectation. Why is this important? I don't know why you're here. Maybe 2 or 3 people can tell me why they're here. It's very, very interesting to know. Why are you here? You wanted to speak, so now you can talk. Why are you in this class? Financial management. But there's no financial management in this class. Yeah. Okay. All right. Financial management. Oh my God. Wrong class. Wrong program. Mr. Philip, maybe you do a financial management class for startups. Right. All right. Who else wants to know? Why are you here? Yeah. Financial. Okay. So there's a recurring financial decimal. Money. With money. Interesting. Okay. I asked 2 guys, I'm asked 2 girls. Yes. Lovely earring lady.
I'm here because I want to learn how to package my business and do it in a better way.
Okay, cool. No, you're not a lady. I will have to do gender equality, room equality. 2 people on this side, 1 more person from here. Okay, yeah, you. Eh? Yeah, but we have to balance engagement. About to start, okay. And okay. Why I ask this is, whenever you go for anything, right? Even when you're going out in the morning, it pays for you to have a very specific expectation, not generic, specific. And I'll explain to you why. Have you ever wanted to buy a phone before? Or a car? Anybody? A particular phone? Or someone called you and said, maybe your brother abroad said, hey, I'm sending you a this, right? Did you notice that immediately after that information hits you, you started seeing the phone everywhere? It looked like everybody's using this phone, oh, or the car. You start seeing the car everywhere. It's like, is that everybody bought this car? Have you noticed? Why? Did you think that everybody just bought the phone after they told you that information? No. Exactly. Because you were expecting it, you were seeing it everywhere. Right? So that's what happens with expectations. So if you could come for a program, you can come for a life-changing meeting, event, program, seminar, training, workshop, whatever it is, right? Church meeting, Islamic meeting, religious meeting, traditional meeting, whatever it is, life-altering. In fact, you hear people there say, my God, my life has been changed, my mindset changed, everything. And you would not change. Because you didn't go there with any specific expectation. So you might require something, but because you're not expecting it, it will pass you over and over and over again, and you will not see it. So it always pays to say, okay, look, this is where I am as a person. This is where I need to be next. And this is what I need to know, or this at least, I need to know something. I need to know this area so that I can move to the next level, right? And it's very important you do that. This is also one reason why I particularly don't like seminars or trainings. I don't like this. I prefer workshops. Why I like workshops is, with workshops, I can get a group of people that are in the same here, and that want to go to the same here. And then we can walk with you so that you leave the program here. Everybody lives there. Because you now have workshop is a practical class where you have a working document that you're going to implement next, right? So, but we're going to make do what we have today. But it's very important that you have a clear expectation, very, very clear. Now, the second thing I'm going to talk about, so 1.1, 1.5, 1.5, 1B. I have this very interesting mentor. Her name is Misan. She's an incredible young lady. She's probably a year older than me, if not my age. But she's built an incredible company, exited. Now she's in the US building 2 more companies. She's just mind-blowingly incredible. Harvard undergrad, Oxford postgrad. She's living my dream. and one time I had an opportunity that I always admire her from far, but I had an opportunity to be on the same panel with her at the conference. And then so we got there, it was in different states. We got there in the evening by 7 p.m. Me and her spoke from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Incredible conversation, life-altering conversation. And then she ended that conversation with something. She told me that, Mimshak, I know a lot of people say that there are no bad questions. Have you heard that before? No stupid questions. Right? She said, I don't agree with that. And in fact, maybe she said, I just fell in love with her because I'm someone that's controversial like me. I hate popular ideology just because it's popular. Not because it's wrong, but the fact that it's popular, it just has to be wrong. That's how I think. And I explain to you. Very, very simple. Very, very simple analysis. If most of the world's population are poor, then every popular opinion is wrong. If most of the world is poor, then every popular opinion is wrong. It's me, or this, like I said, I'm very, very controversial. Because if popular opinion were right, then more people would be rich. So the few people that are rich know something that is not popular opinion, and they try to keep it that way. Because, well, we don't want everybody to be rich. Then there'll be no exclusivity. If everybody remain in the club, then there'll be no music. It'll all be Dorime from beginning to end. So we don't want that. So it's better we keep a lot more people poor. There'll be no house boy, house girl, or driver, or cleaner. That's going to be a hard world to live in, don't you think? Yeah. So everybody driving cars, everybody driving fancy cars, and the whole road will be pulled up with Rolls Royces. That's the point. Right? If everybody's flying private jet, and nobody to park your jets because everybody's flying. Come on. We need poor people. So this is, again, I'm very controversial, right? All right, so B, so she told me, Mimshak, there is a bad question, a stupid question. So what's a stupid question? Say a stupid question is a question you can Google. Is it you can Google it, it's a stupid question. It's a stupid question is a question that I've answered before. So if I come up, show up here and say, oh, Mimsha, what university did you go to? Like, that's a stupid question. It's on my LinkedIn. Right? Except there was something you wanted to take that, like that was supposed to, right? It was supposed to lead to something of like, well, why? Like, it's a stupid question in her words, right? And then she says, then there's an interesting question. What's an interesting question? Like, something that just like sparks an interesting conversation. So say, Mimsha, what's the hardest challenge you ever faced in your life? Interesting question, right? That's interesting. Okay, what was the hardest? What's the hardest? And then I share something, right? But that's an interesting question. Say, but there's a good question. It's a good question. It's a question that allows you make the next decision. So for your own personal life, you need to move to the next stage, which is again, expectations. So if you ask a question that allows you to make that next decision, it's a good question, right? It doesn't have to be interesting, but it has to be, so it's a good question can be, hey, Mimsha, I sent a pitch deck to 5 investors and they all rejected my pitch deck. What are the 5 most, what's the most important, what's the most critical part of a pitch deck that would allow me get an interview at least with an investor? That's a good question. Now, if you're just starting out, you've not even started out, that's a bad question for you because you don't need that answer now. You don't have anything. You're not preparing a pitch deck. Do you understand? So because everybody has different stages, your good question is, how do I move to the next? I need information, like you said, to move to the next level of my life. And so you're here to get that information. Now, if you spend a whole week here and you don't ask the right questions, you might never get that information. Right? That makes sense? Sure? And again, feel free to disagree with me. All right, last thing before I go to my class is a question I like to ask everybody. What do you think is the most important thing for your business? The single most important thing you cannot do without. What do you think that is? Passion. Oh God, I have motivational speaker people here. Yes. Passion. Yes. Knowledge. Yes. Customer. Product. NGO people. Impact. Eh? The beginning of Nigerian wisdom. Sapa. Phobia. Sapaphobia. All right. Anybody else? Okay, the reason why I asked this question is I went to school in Unilag. And unfortunately for us, Larry Olushola and Fela Durute are down the road. And they started holding these programs where they were training people to become life coaches. And guess who they used as guinea pigs after they learned? Unilag students. So they will come. Every once in a while, there's always a program about how to change your life. And these poor people who've never done anything with their lives come and tell us, all you need is an idea. An idea. One idea would transform your life. Facebook began with an idea. Microsoft, one idea. Right? And they tell you, don't look for a job after school. Be the one to create the job. Right? Incredible, incredible, nice stuff. And we'll be in those classes and be like, yes, only one idea. I need an idea. And we leave the ginger to find that idea. And then those of us that had one very stupid idea, say, yeah, that's the idea. This is the idea that will make me a billionaire. And I'm very glad nobody said idea here, right? And the reason for this was to debunk the fact that idea was the most important thing, right? But what that led to, and this, I feel it's a very fundamental problem with Nigerian businesses, is that it made people unresponsive to feedback. How many of you have ever had a friend who pitched you a very stupid idea? You knew it was stupid. Immediately he or she opened his or her mouth. But then you started weighing, do I tell you the truth and lose our friendship? Or do I tell you, go on, girl, go on, guy, I mean, this is solid, and be your friend? How many of you have been there? right? But you know that if I give this person feedback, I'm a hater. I'm going to become a hater. I'm going to become the person in the group who nobody likes because I told you that this shit ain't going to work, right? But the reason why people get attached to the idea is because they think it's the single most important thing for their business. So I explain again further. If someone came and met you today and said, I found an incredible problem. Humans like to communicate, true? Well, we're social beings, we like to communicate. And someone said, I found the best way to communicate. Oh my God. Like what? Say, look, you have to sign an NDA because like, if I tell you this, you cannot tell a soul. This is the next big thing. You're like, what is it? Like, look, sign. And then maybe you decide to sign or not. But the person says, it's letters. Letters. So what's letters? What do you mean by letters? I say, no. So you take a piece of paper and you write, Dear Jane. And you write all your thoughts out. You fold it, put it in an envelope, and you post it. And then someone takes it all the way to Jane. And Jane opens it and reads it. And Jane understands. And Jane writes again back to you, Dear Mimshak, and writes you a letter. Oh, you say to that idea. You say, you must be crazy, right? You're joking, right? Right? That's a terrible idea, right? But imagine if somebody took that same idea to Adam, to Eve. So imagine when Adam and Eve, where God pursued them from the garden. Those of you are Christians, I believe that, pursued them from the garden, right? And then Cain killed his brother, and then God made Cain a wanderer and says, you shall now be a vagabond, wander all around. And then maybe Eve was crying, oh my God, my son Cain is not going to be a wanderer. I'm not going to see Cain again. And then someone came and said, Eve, I have a great idea for you. Say, what is it? It's letters. So you write it, and then somebody dispatches and runs and gives it to Cain. And Cain reads it and writes back to you. What do you think she would say? She's like, oh my God, innovation, too much brain. This guy, right? He's like, what? True? So what does this tell you? The problem that Eve had, we still have it. Human problems don't change. All that changes is the idea, is the solution to solving it that constantly changes and evolves. So what does this tell you? It tells you don't fall in love with with the product. Don't fall in love with the idea. Don't fall in love with your solution. Fall in love with the problem. Because the problem will always be there. Right? But the solution will always change. So for me, I feel that the most important thing for your business is a problem. Your ability to identify a problem is the biggest thing. Fall in love with the problem and the person that has it. Who is that? Your customer. This is why I'm sure many of you have walked into a business shop before and you told them that, oh my God, I want, can you do, maybe you go to a woman, the one that's most annoying in Lagos is you go to a mama put and you want to buy only dodo and stew. And they tell you, I know they sell only dodo. They say, why? I said they use the dodo to sell the rice. They say, okay, I get that. How much is the rice? 100 naira. I say, okay. Now, I don't want rice. I will pay you extra 100 naira, but give me only dodo. He say, no, I know they sell only dodo. But the problem is that there are lots of us that want to just buy only dodo. Don't you think that it does not make sense for her to now realize that maybe her business is not rice and maybe it should be dodo? But no, she has the perfect idea of her mama put. It is rice and dodo and stew. That's how it is. You cannot come and be eating only dodo. Or have you ever been to the business where you say, okay, give me 100 naira rice and 500 naira meat? He say, no, I cannot give you 500 naira meat. Now, 2 meat that they sell with maximum 2 meat. He said, but ma, I want to eat only meat. Say, I know they sell only meat. I beg if no one buy, leave this place. Do you not realize that if she loves the customer and the problem is like, I want to solve hunger, right? If people want to eat only meat, maybe I should just start selling meat. But no, this is my shop. I've envisioned it. This is how it's supposed to be. I'm not changing it for anything. Even if people can't access it, that's your business. This is how it's going to be. This is how it is. I saw it in my dream. This is the vision I saw. And I'm going to, and then you lose customers, right? Because you're in love with the idea. Yes. But Yes, please. Yes, please.
So this thing you are saying, interestingly, is happening here in Abuja currently. There's this hydro entry of the road where we buy stamps for this program. And the guys are like, you can't buy for more than so we are not giving us any discount. As a matter of fact, we're kind of like paying more. But they say yes, no, but you cannot buy for more than even if you are going to pay for the money.
So it doesn't make any sense. And this is the beauty, and this is the funny thing. This is the funny thing. They are very, very happy with you come, buy 5, walk out the door, come back and say, give me 5 more. They are very happy. They will sell you to you if you do that rubbish. Oh, I thought so too. I thought so too. Oh no. No, I'm telling you, no. I thought so too. I thought so too until one day I asked for your money. I said, please, is your owner around? And the person walks out and says, yes, that is our policy here. Please, sir. If you don't want to buy, please be going. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm not. Exactly. I'm telling you, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. Me and my grandmother have a saying. You cannot reason with unreasonable people. Don't try. All right, good. So we have some background, right? Expectations about what's most important. For today's class, we're going to be talking about, can I have my slides up? We're going to talk about the business model canvas. Business model canvas. It's called the BMC. Okay. Now, background for this. Has any of you ever written a business plan before? Did it work? I love the way people look when I ask this question. Did it work? It partially worked. Interesting. It didn't work. All right. Every investor will tell you that the business plan is the most useless document in business history. They'll tell you. Any experienced investor will tell you that the business plan is the most useless document. They'll tell you that the process of business planning is important, but the output, the document, is useless. So many times, investors will ask you to write a business plan, not because they think the business plan will work. It's because they want to put you through the rigor of thinking through every area of your business. Now, the reason why a business plan doesn't work is because a business plan is a document of assumptions. It's all assumptions. You are assuming that this solution will be the solution to this problem, and that people will pay for this solution at 100 naira or whatever pricing you put, and that enough people will buy it at that price to allow you break even and make a profit in a period of time in which time you will not die as a business. It's all assumptions. And so they know this. Every investor knows that it's just a useless document. But what's important is the process of thinking through your business. That's valuable. Now, when you hit the market, the only person that can tell you if your business will succeed or fail is the market. That's the only person. And so when you hit the market, your assumptions will begin to either be validated or you find out that they're wrong. Right? You find out, oh my God, this solution is not the solution to this problem. This solution is like 1970. Letters don't work again. It's now whatever, right? And then, okay. So you change that solution. Or you realize, oh, the solution works, but I thought that millennials would like it, but oh my God, millennials don't like it. It's now Gen Zs that like it, or it's not even Gen Zs. It's actually older people that like it. So your customer automatically changes. And if your customer changes, then how you thought you were going to do marketing will also change. Like, oh my God, I thought that Instagram was going to be my marketing strategy, but all I get on Instagram is likes and no buys. I have 1 million followers and nobody's buying. Right? And then I need to leave Instagram, because Instagram is not where my customers are. Like, people like to see the picture, but people don't want to buy the picture. Right? So you begin to validate or invalidate some of the assumptions that you have in your plan. The problem is that your plan is so bulky, it's a 70 freaking page document that nobody ever goes back to edit their business plan. Like, oh, okay, no. So my customers are no longer, okay, let's go back there. So now you're going to rewrite your 10-page customer segment. Huh? Like everybody finishes with it, like, oh my God, I'm done with this document. Never to do it again. It's a relic of the past. You put it somewhere. Hopefully the investor just agrees and gives you the money because I'm not going to do the document again. That's how people see it. But because we realize that the process is important, but also the process of evolving the plan is also as important, because if you're testing hypothesis, things are changing. It doesn't make sense to keep on writing this 50-page document that nobody wants to really write. So we created something called, next slide, the business model canvas. Like it's not like it's me. So don't think that, oh my God, this guy is so brilliant, he created this thing. And now go out there and Google it and like, oh my God, this guy's such a liar, he's not the one that did it. So they created the business model canvas, whoever they are. And it's a one-page business plan that allows you to think about the individual components of your business, but in a way that it's easy for you to edit and evolve as you validate the assumptions. So it starts out with, who are your customers? I see my orgasm last month, sir. How you doing, sir? All right, customers. Who are your customers? What's your value proposition? What are you offering to the customers, right? And remember, because I said problem, when we're going to do this exercise, we're going to start with what's the problem you're trying to solve that your value proposition is sort of attacking, right? But with value proposition, what's the solution? What are you offering? To who? The customers, right? And then somewhere in between is your relationship. How you want to reach your customers? How are they going to hear about you? And how are you going to interface or engage with them? Relationships. Channels. How are you going to deliver the value to them? What's the way? What's the method of delivering the value? How are they going to get the value from you? Channels. Key activities. What are the key things you must do as a business to be able to deliver this value to this customer? Right? Resources. What are the key things you must have to deliver that value? Have I ever seen any person that says, I want to sell, I want to sell slippers, and the most important thing to me is I need to have a shop in Metama. Like, you're not ready to start, Abi. So I'm trying to raise 3 million so I can get shop in Metama because I want to sell 2,000 slippers. You're crazy, right? So key resources. What are the fundamentals, most basic, the things that you cannot do without? Without this, you can't have it, right? Key partners. What are the people that you need to work with? It's not every activity that's a key activity that you must do yourself. So what things do I need to outsource? So I give an example. I guess are aware that Jumia doesn't own any bike. All those bikes you see with Jumia on them, Jumia doesn't own even one bike. However, when Jumia started, they had a fleet, but they quickly realized that logistics is a business all by itself. It doesn't make sense to put it in your business model. So now they outsource all the delivery is outsourced, right? So that's like a key partnership. They realize that we don't need to do this ourselves. We can give somebody else to do it, right? Okay. Cost structure. What are the things you're going to spend money on? So in things in having your activities and your resources, what are the key things you're spending money on regularly, right? And then revenue streams, or what are all the ways you're making money out of this value from this customer? Cool. So we're going to watch a bunch of videos, and each of the videos are going to explain the business model, explain the process of using the model, and then as we go, we would have conversations. Before we move to the first video, do we have any questions so far? Every time I do this class about questions, nobody asks me questions again. They're like, oh God, I don't want my questions to come with this stupid question. That'll be the example they'll use for stupid question. Anybody online? Anybody online has a question? Hello, guys and ladies. Yes. Mike, yes, Mike. Okay.
Realizing the one page business manual, there is no provision for things like break-even analysis and forecast.
Okay, so the truth is, when you're starting a business, many things don't matter. The truth is, if you find the right value for the right customer, you make money. At the beginning, you don't need to know, you don't need to talk about break-even analysis. You don't need to talk about how much money, like, so revenue stream shows up. These are all the places I can make money, and this is how much money I can make. These are all the places I'm going to spend money, and this is how much money I'm going to spend. These need to balance out clearly, right? So you sort of have it here without writing 20 pages financial analysis that is just assumptions. Again, by the time you do this and your business now actually kicks off, by the time you have a functioning business model, then you can then go on into more elaborate business planning. So this typically is for the beginning, very early stages, when you've not proven anything. A business plan becomes very important to you when you now have predictable revenue. So predictable revenue means I now know that for every 1,000 naira I spent on advertising, I will make 50,000 naira back. If I double that money to 2,000 naira, I will make 100K. Predictable. That's the point where you go raise serious money and say, okay, now I have a product, it works. This number of people use my product and they return every day to use my product. All that's holding me back is getting my product to more people. In fact, I have oversubscription. I have 10,000 people that ordered that I can't meet. So now I need your money to expand production to be able to meet. Then they ask you, what's your break even? Say, okay, on my current growth trajectory, you're not assuming this, I'm already growing at this rate. I will break even in 6 months if you inject 10 million naira into my business now. But at the beginning, you don't know anything about your business. You're assuming. So this document allows you assume and test your assumptions until you find what works. Make sense? Okay, online. Priscilla, unmute and ask. Do I know you? Why do I have so many people that look familiar here? I know this guy. Definitely. Priscilla. Anybody else? Okay, so I guess we'll just start. Maybe she was just stretching her hand. Okay, your first video.
This is the story of Beth, her friend Carl, and an idea they believed could become a great business. It's the story of how they succeeded, and if you're an entrepreneur or anyone with a great idea, it could easily be your story too. But let's begin at the beginning. See, even if you have a great idea, success is far from assured. That's because for every great idea that has shaped our world, there are thousands of seemingly great ideas that have flopped. In order to succeed, a great business idea needs a great business model, and they're not the same thing. Once your idea meets the world, it will meet customers. If they don't care about the problem your idea solves for them, it's game over. But even if customers love your value proposition, you can fail if your business model is not scalable and financially sustainable. You'll need to find reliable channels to reach and acquire your customers. You'll need to build an infrastructure that won't collapse as your business begins to grow. Failing to do just one of these things can mean death to your business, however great your idea is. That's why your first work is to search for the right business model, to map this world of challenges so it can be tamed and organized, allowing you to explore it, manage it, and plan for it. What if there was a tool that could help you with this challenge, simply and visually? A tool that makes it easier to stress test your ideas, track your progress, and avoid breaking the bank along the way. What if it was possible to design and test business models in a way that gives your idea a better shot at rising to the level of the great businesses that are shaping our world? It is. And though the journey for these guys, and for you, won't be a walk in the park, all you'll need is your creativity, willingness to work, and passion for your idea. We'll give you the rest.
Okay, so this just explain what I explained before we started, right? So next video. 2 questions online. Did they type it or they raise their hand? Okay. Conho. Simon.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, very clearly.
Okay, thank you very much. The teaching today is quite interesting, I must say. And it's interesting because one of the things I have noticed with most of us, especially somebody like me who do business, that sometimes one of the things that just get us off sometimes is when certain grammars are used when it comes to doing business. Whereas in the real world, some of these things, even though they're important, they are difficult to comprehend sometimes. So I just want to maybe some sort of concerning this business model canvas. You said according to the subtitle that is a one-page business plan. If, for example, I'm asked to submit a business plan, if I succeed in submitting this business model canvas, will I be right or will I be wrong? That's my question.
You'll be very wrong.
Okay.
You'll be very, very wrong. So
Okay.
I have a class I talk about financing, and I talk about different types of finance for different types of businesses. Now, if you want to take a loan, you're going to be asked for a business plan. You need to send a business plan.
Okay.
Right. You need to send a very detailed business plan. Now, a business model canvas can allow you to think through the key aspects of your business plan, but you need to submit that bulky, boring document is what they're asking for.
I like the way you qualified it. Bulky, boring document.
Yes, that's what they're asking for. Yeah.
All right. So I would be right to say that I'll be right to conclude that this business model canvas is just a sort of guide that will help me develop a business plan.
So it's a working document. It's for you to use in building your business. But also VCs, venture capitalists, early stage venture capitalists will not ask you for a business plan. They will ask you for a business model canvas and a pitch deck.
Oh, okay.
Because even they realize that your business is too unpredictable at the early stages for you to write a business plan that will work.
Certainly.
So it's mostly bankers that want you to write a freaking long document.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Who else? Great. Okay. Next video.
This is the business model canvas. It's just what Beth and Carl will need to craft a powerful business model, and it can do the same for you. Let's dive in and see how it works. There are 9 essential building blocks that make up any business model. When you get all 9 blocks working together, you'll have answered the fundamental questions any business model must solve. We'll start here with customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are the bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. Channels describe through which touchpoints you're interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the types of relationships you're establishing with your customers and how you're acquiring and retaining them. Pricing mechanisms through which your business model captures value are documented under revenue streams. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model, so you can describe the infrastructure you need to create, deliver, and capture value. The key activities show which things you need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor will you perform all key activities. And once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. Any business model can be mapped this way: 9 building blocks working to reinforce and strengthen each other. But before you make a model for yourself, it helps to see what a breakthrough business model looks like in action. Like this one. Low-cost airlines revolutionized air travel thanks to their disruptive business model. Let's first look at their value proposition. A low-cost airline offers ultra-cheap flights to their main customer segment, budget travelers, by adopting a no-frills policy. And this leads to additional revenue streams because customers pay for their ticket and additional fees on items like food and drink, priority boarding, and luggage. The airlines save even more money through their choice of channels, selling only through call centers and the internet, making for efficient, if not always convenient, customer relationships that are automated and often impersonal. Okay, that covers the right side of the canvas, the part everyone can see. The left side of the canvas is what's going on backstage. Like their choice of key resources, they reduce maintenance and training costs by using a single aircraft model for the whole fleet. And they only fly to cheap airports where it's cost efficient to land or where they even get paid to touch down. Planes that do land have quick turnarounds, so they get back in the air earning money as quickly as possible. And they form key partnerships with others in the travel industry, like car rental, hotel, and insurance companies. Finally, under cost structures, all maintenance, training, airport, and call center costs are trimmed to their lowest levels. All of these pieces working together make their fares almost impossible for traditional airlines to compete with. There's nothing superior about these airlines except their business models. They're reaching an entirely new segment of travelers out of reach for traditional airlines. Cutting out costs is pretty exciting, right? But wait, just because it's successful for discount airlines doesn't mean it will work for your idea. Luckily, the business model canvas allows you to iterate many models and test them quickly. Let's get started with your own business idea.
Any questions? Can I have the BMCs, sir? Okay. Any questions first? No questions? Great. So we're going to take our time to work on business models for your own idea or business. Hello, good morning. Maybe you take one and pass. Yeah. Take one and pass. Okay, people at the back. Okay, so we're going to work on, you go take me back to that, the second slide. A revenue stream is how you're going to make money. We're going to take about 10 minutes to do that for our business. Before we do that, I want to talk about something that I care very much about. And as much as possible, see how you might be able to, if you're interested, incorporate this into your business model. So there's something called, yes? Like, I just did, I think it's okay. Yeah, it's okay, it's perfect. What? Okay, so for everyone, we're going to work on the first half of the business model canvas. We'll talk about your value proposition, but remember we started with problems. So you just start by talking about what problem you're trying to solve, and then what's the value proposition that you're offering to that problem. Your customer segment, who are you providing that proposition to? Your relationships, how are they going to hear about you, and how are you going to relate to them? Your channels, how are you going to reach them with the value? How's the value going to get to them, or how are they going to get it from you? And then your revenue streams, how are all the ways you can make money? And I said, there's something that I care about that I want to talk about, that I think that if you think it's possible, incorporate it to your business model as much as possible or not. It's called markets creating innovation. Now, the example that was used in the video for low-cost airlines, like my first experience with them was on my last trip to Europe, and it was really incredible. You can travel from one country to another country for as low as 100 euros, right? It's like 50K, 60K, you're in a new country, right? And it's because they removed, they stripped the product of everything else except travel. So for example, in these cheap airlines, there's no food. They don't serve you anything. rather they hawk, you know, the way you have like, it's not as bad, of course, as gala, right? But it's almost literally almost like that. Like the lady, the air hostess is pushing a trolley to you, like, do you want anything? And then they send you, give you a menu with prices. So anything you want, you pay for it, right? You only get one bag. Like I don't think I even allow some flights. You can't even check in a bag. You allow one hand luggage that you carry on. If you want to check in, you pay. Right. So for them, it's like some people just want to travel. I'm not carrying anything. I don't want to eat. It's a 1 hour flight from whatever to whatever. Just take me there, right? And so you shouldn't have to spend so much money. I didn't realize that airlines spend so much money on that small food, that small box of food that most of us don't eat. They spend so much money on it. The reason is that they really can't envisage how many food they'll have on the flight. And they have to pre-order. So for every flight, that's why you see airlines are very angry when the flight is half. Because guess what? They bought food for the whole flight. And they can't use it. So apparently all those other things cost so much more money for them. And so when a flight airline streams all those things out, they save money. Now there's something called market creating innovation. It's an incredible concept. There's a book, if you want to know more about this, there's a book called Prosperity Paradox. Prosperity Paradox is a book written by Efosa Ojoma and Clayton Christensen. Clayton Christensen is the father of what we call today disruptive innovation. He was the person today doing researches and write-ups about innovation. Harvard professor died about 2 years ago, but his works are incredible, right? So the Prosperity Paradox talks about how many countries have been able to lift themselves out of poverty. And this is the reason why I care deeply about this. The main concept is that for many emerging economies like Nigeria is, and most African countries are, most of your population is poor. And because of that, they can't afford regular products and services. So most of the pitches you hear in America are middle class. Well, we're attacking the middle class. Why? Because there's a large middle class. Most of America is middle class. So any product that is attacking middle class in America is going for the mass market. In Africa, most of the people are poor. Nigeria has 70 million people that are living below less than $1 a day. 70 million, right? And then there's not like the other 120, the remaining 130 million of us are doing any better. I think there was some very, very disturbing statistics that was released by the CBN one time when they said there are only about 2 million unique BVNs in Nigeria, in the whole country. Only about 2 million unique, which means that with all the banks that we have and all the bank accounts, only about 2 million of us actually have bank accounts out of 200 million. And then now said, I think there's only about 0.1% of the population have about 200K in their account, in all their accounts combined. So that lets you understand the kind of country and the kind of market that we have. So you see a lot of people run in here and say, hey, Nigeria, big market, 200 million people, yay. And then you see people pitching, oh, who's your target market? All of Nigeria, 200 million Nigerians. If only I can get 1% of that 200 million Nigerians to crap, all crap. Now, another thing I want to notice now is in Nigeria, have you noticed that everything is sachet here? Have you noticed? Sachet. Everything. There's sachet toothpaste, there's sachet milk, sugar, body cream, oil, everything is sachet into small chunk sizes. Are you kidding me? Incredible. What? Like the day I saw clogged conflicts in traffic in sachet, I knew that was the end. But why do you think that is? Because most of Nigeria earns money daily. They don't earn money monthly. And so they don't have the luxury of buying a tin of milk or a pack of cornflakes. They earn money every day, so they have to eat every day. So they survive daily. So the guy will go with 200 naira to the malam shop and say, okay, give me 50 naira bread, give me one milk, give me one sachet of coffee. And with 100, 200 naira, he has everything he needs for breakfast for that day. He doesn't know if he's going to be alive tomorrow. So there's no point buying a tin of milk, right? So So because that's what most Nigeria is like, that's why most products are sachets. Now, have you noticed that, how many of you have ever drank Biggie? Yes, any Biggie product? You drank it. Did you love it? See your faces. It tastes like crap. I know. It tastes terribly. But do you know that if you go to Lagos today, you can't find Coke in traffic. You can't find Pepsi in traffic. You only find Biggie. And it's not because Biggie paid those hawkers to take only Biggie. It's because people only buy Biggie. Why? Because it's bigger. Then you also realize, no, because see, you have to study some of these things to understand your market. It's because most of Nigeria really don't care about the quality. They want to fill their belly, period. So when you understand some of these things, then you know that, okay, this is the market I'm trying to sell to, right? And because this is the market I'm trying to sell to, then I have to figure out how can I actually reach this market and how can I actually sell to them. So the concept of market creating innovation is very simple concept. The concept is most people in developing countries or emerging economies can't or will not use certain products and services, not because they don't want to, but because they can't afford to, or because the packaging doesn't allow them to, or because they don't have the education required to. So they will tell you that, bankers will tell you that Nigerians don't like to have bank accounts. That's not true. The process of getting a bank account is just bloody laborious. The closest bank to you can be miles if you're not in the city. In fact, like if you live, I used to laugh at my friends that live in Dubai. I'm like, if you don't live in Abuja, there's no bank in Dubai. What say? but like my grandmom would have to travel from Abraka to Warri back in the day to get a bank, to go and withdraw 3,000 naira they sent her. What? Do you understand? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make it makes no sense, right? So the point is that it's not like Nigerians don't want to have bank accounts. It's that the way bank accounts have been packaged doesn't allow the mass market access it. That's why with mobile money in Kenya, M-Pesa, Kenya has one of the highest financial rates. Why? Because M-Pesa is mobile money. Every mobile phone is a bank, literally. So you know we have a credit in your phone. Your credit is actually money in Kenya. So you can actually buy stuff with your credit. Yeah. M-Pesa, that's M-Pesa, mobile money. Nigeria, they've been fighting mobile money because guess what? Safaricom is now the biggest company in Kenya. But Safaricom can buy banks because everybody's on M-Pesa, even bikes, akara sellers, everybody's on M-Pesa. What changed? The way you could access it. So what is the simple concept is, do Nigerians want insurance? You said that they don't like insurance, right? That's a lie. We want insurance. We don't just want it in the package that it is today, right? And so the concept is poor people want the same products that you're enjoying, but it's just packaged in a way that they can't get it. Either the education, either the skill set required to get it, or the money required to get it is too high, right? And so NCI says, how can you take the same service, innovate the business model in a way that you're able to still provide that product and service to them? It might not be as flashy. It might not be as shiny. It might not be as luxurious, but you still pass the fundamental thing is the value. So that, for example, the no-frills airline, they don't have first class. Those airlines don't have first class. Every class is economy. These chairs are like, if you're tall, you can't sit down in it. It's like back to back. It's not comfort. There's no stretching your leg. You want to stretch your leg, go and enter BA. Their job is, we'll take you there alive. You will survive. Trust us, you will survive. But you might need a Panadol when you get there. But the point that you are there, right? So my point is, it might not be as luxurious, it might not be the best, it might not be best quality, but it's the same service. And sometimes for many of these people, poor service is better than no service. It's like, at least now, I'm there. So, and the funny thing about many of these services is that in accumulation, they are more expensive than the premium service. So I'll give an example. How many of you know someone that buys airtime in 100 naira or buys like 1 gig of data or 500 MB of data? Do you know them? So my driver used to buy small data. And I asked him one day that, how much data, how long, this data you bought now, how long does it last you? Like he buys it every week. I said, do you realize that if you just bought 4,000 data once, you will have 20 gig. But now you only have 4 gig because you're buying it. Yes? Mic. I should use the mic. Online. No, no, right? So do you get? So many times, it's like people that use mobile money, mobile bankers. Now we have this agent bankers. For every withdrawal with an agent bank, it's 100 naira. ATM withdrawal is 35 naira. So, but the point is, there are areas where the only bank is the POS. So what I'm trying to explain to you again is that sometimes these business models, in innovative business models, you might make more money. You're making more money in smaller quantities, right? It's like, you get, you're making more. There's any sachet product is more expensive than the big pack. Anyone. You can try and experiment. Buy 50-gram milk and then buy the small ones and make 50 grams out of it. It's more expensive. But the point is that the business model allows you to target people who would have normally not bought it. Now, why is this important? It's important because everybody targeting middle class is saturated for most products. So you'll be like, me too. I've heard of Me Too businesses before. Me too. She sells shoe, me too. Now, what's really in Abuja is restaurants and lounges. They're everywhere over Wusetu. They're all Me Too. All their prices are the same thing. One of my friends was telling me that if he decides to do lounge and that he'll break the market. I said, why? He said, because he will sell a bottle of Jameson for 5K. I said, bro, if you do that, you have to spend money on bouncer because everybody will be there. Right? So my point is, people who you think don't want to use a product actually do. But if you change your business model, so as you work on your business model, I'm just inspiring you to think about, don't attack this middle class that everybody's trying to attack. This same middle class that have disposable income, we are very few, fewer than you expect, right? But if you can create a really innovative business model that attacks the bottom of the pyramid, oh my God, your business would explode. But it takes you to rethink a lot of stuff, yeah?
Okay, I believe that not all businesses should be for the masses.
Okay.
I believe they should be premium brands. And back to this concept that you just shared, there are some businesses that you can break down for, they don't apply their artists here, and there are some very creative people here that your product can't be broken down to for the masses in any way. So how do you apply for premium brand? You don't need everybody. I believe.
No, like so again, this is an inspiration, right? I always tell everybody, there's no right or wrong. You don't have to be. You need the mic? Okay. Okay. So really, there's no right or wrong, right? You don't have to be a mass market product. Neither do you have to be a premium brand, right? It's up to you, right? Rolls-Royce makes 100 cars a year, and they can do some lavish things like write your name on the car, airlift it to you at 0 mileage. Toyota can try that shit, right? Toyota writes your name on the car. Toyota makes 100,000 cars a year. They can't write your name on the car. They can't airlift every car to you. They can't. Do you understand? They can't do those things for you. It's not. It's more like a commodity car. But again, all I'm saying is that you're in a market where there are more people like this. If you do this type of business, you can make impact. You can make a difference. But you can also build a massive business. Why do you think Dangote is huge? Mass market. I don't think, and I might be wrong, but I'm not sure there's any African billionaire that sells luxury. Billionaire in US dollars. I might be wrong. I've not checked. So this is an unchecked fact, right? But I don't think so. It's just because of so all I'm saying is, if you really want to build a massive business, understand the market you're in. Most people here are poor, whether we like it or not. It's a reality. But it's also possible that your business doesn't, it can't, and it's fine, and it's actually fine.
Yeah, because an example was made about
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sculpture out of waste. Like
Yeah.
that man cannot serve him as snowy. So
I think he can.
one the list of his piece, as we heard, goes for 5 million, 6 million. One mass which people can buy that stuff. I don't believe he can.
Well, like again, it's you have to rethink your business model. Yes.
So I think I was the one who gave you the example. And what Dr. does is that Dr. creates imagination. Yeah. So while he takes money from up there, his entire product line or process line is fed by the poor. So he's employed quite a whole lot of people just to create that item he's selling up there. He's been able to establish a brand where the rich come to buy. But then all the truthfully does is probably put together the pieces. From the gathering of the beans to the processing of the beans and all, it's done by a whole lot of others. Yeah. So he actually provides value across that chain. He knows what his market is, but that market fits a lot of people as well. So if you look at it and say, because he sells only to the rich, his business model works for him. When you look at his background, he has a lot of people. You do offset with the buyer, if I'm not mistaken. And you look at there's a private offsetting market here now. That is to collect, that is to do all that, and they all feed into that. And that's why the process is, he probably won't sell at 5 million because when he calculates how much it is, to put together one item, his market only goes up.
Or he's just really created an authenticated product, and that's also fine.
Also, I think this takes us one to what I've just said about why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why? If you look at it, probably just wants to provide jobs, right? One thing is also money qualified, but the main thing is I need to provide jobs. So you're looking at it as it's making art for rich people. What it's doing is providing jobs for people that can help in that. So that's another way to do that. Secondly, I feel like a lot of things cannot be broken down, but a lot of things can. And I was watching a whole documentary and it does this concept. It's called $1 and $1 million concept. And you come and pay $1 and you see the line outside. When you pay $1, that's the price of it. And how much that concept on the normal? You know that if you want $1 million will take you. I don't even know what I was thinking. And it's like, how can you pay 100 or 500 It's not possible. But
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
So obviously something can be broken. I just have to calculate.
Yeah. So the thinking, you don't have to. Exactly. You don't have to. You don't say something.
I also quickly add that it doesn't have to sell the items. And also that putting like a museum or something where we can come and
yeah.
And you just have to be flexible.
You have to. It needs you to think. Yeah. Okay. I've created a very controversial. Yeah.
Why should you produce something that is not going to market?
Well, again, there's no right or wrong market. All right. Yeah.
I think one of the good examples I have is iPhone. In China, where it's being manufactured, the people come from the villages and they don't live in this staying dormitories and pay them like very cheap. They don't go home. So when they're doing recruitment, you have like thousands of people from villages just lining up to assemble the phones. Of course, when you see the commercials, you see all the machines, CNC machines cutting the phones. And that is to appeal to the audience who they're selling to. But then in the factories, you have very poor people who just stay there Monday to night, Monday to Sunday, just working on the phone. But then they have customers and see the price of the iPhones nowadays.
Yeah.
So I think in the value chain, like you mentioned, it creates value for those people. They just want to have some money that sense to their families. They don't care if they die, but their market audience is just the other people who can afford it.
Yeah. So in thinking about markets, right? in thinking about markets, so those two things. So you see how, so there was a smartphone market in Africa that was dominated by high-end phones. So if you remember back in the day, even before iPhone, there was Siemens, there was Motorola, and it looked like you had to have a lot of money to buy a smartphone. Then somebody came, one crazy guy came and said it's techno. I'm like, whoa, crashed the prices of smartphones. Then there was not 10K smartphone, like 10K, 15K smartphone, 20K smartphone. Like, is it a smartphone 2 years? So somebody could have said that, oh no, poor people in Nigeria don't want to use smartphones. They can't buy data. But what happened after they brought techno? Everybody got smartphones. So an assumption with art would be that poor people don't appreciate art. That's not true. Give them art that they can afford, and you'll be so surprised that your gate man will have an art piece in his room. So you understand? So they are on that very crazy. So the first in the book they talked about telecommunications, right? The person who brought telco to Africa is a guy called Mo Ibrahim. How many people know Mo Ibrahim? You don't know Mo Ibrahim? Oh my God, what do people know? All right, so Mo Ibrahim brought Celtel back in the day, Celtel, which became Airtel, which became, what's it now? It's Airtel now, right? It became Zain. Yeah. So he brought Celtel back in the day to Africa. And because he was working in British telco in the UK. And he said that Africa needs telecommunications. But guess what? He couldn't raise any money. Do you know why? Because nobody believed that Africa would be able to use telecom. You know, Africa is a poor continent. Only poor people are there. Why would we take telecommunications to Africa? They can't afford it. But you know that the telecommunication we have in Africa is the business model is very, very different from what you have in Europe and America. So for example, we buy recharge cards here. They don't sell airtime, they don't sell recharge cards abroad. Like I remember the first time I went to buy recharge cards, like that recharge card, what's that? Airtime or that? Like I try to use all the English, they don't sell it. They run a subscription-based system. So you pay for a month of services, and then so you have different packages. But they can't use subscription for telco here. In fact, there's only one postpaid product, and it's in fact, so few people use postpaid. Even I don't use postpaid, right? And I'm sort of like upper middle class in Nigeria. But they had to change the business model. In fact, when it even came here, remember there was only remember when MTN 1,500 recharge card? Then there was what? There was 750 recharge card, and that was odd. Remember it was per minute billing. Remember, if you even flash someone, they pick it, 15 naira is gone. Remember? But then what happened? Glow came and just said to hell with per minute, per second, and then you could buy 100 naira recharge card. Oh my God, 100 naira recharge card. Back then, they would have said that it's not possible to produce 100 naira recharge card. Remember the recharge cards before? They were almost plastic. They were semi-plastic. You couldn't tear it. You had to scratch it. MT would have said it's not possible to make 100 naira recharge card. In fact, the worth of the card itself is over 100 naira. Glow said nobody cares about the card. It's the number on the card they want. Print it. Print it on paper. Staple it. Black and white. You don't even use color print. Print it in black. Yes. Okay. Online needs to hear. Okay.
And what you said about production, right?
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that when you are designing your business for your company, your products at the time of the design do not actually explain if you are targeting a luxury brand, a premium brand, or just the masses, right? Because if you look at like the iPhone, I'm very sure that they do not actually have that mindset that, or at some point, iPhone will just be a luxury.
They had it. That was the plan. The plan of the iPhone was not to create a phone. In fact, if you go and watch early pitches of Steve Jobs when he presented the iPhone, he never called it a phone. It was never about a phone. It was a statement. Apple products are a statement. They've always been a statement. He didn't want to produce a phone or a laptop or a computer. It was.
And now we see that almost everybody now uses an iPhone. So
no, you are in a bubble. Everybody don't use an iPhone. Smartphone, not an iPhone. So that's one thing, right? So sometimes I was doing something to someone about something that gave me a rude wake-up call. I went to a community to do a program, and it was a microcredit program for some women. And then I was talking to them, and like after the meeting, we were just chatting. I was like, look, so this was December. So we'll not give you people's money, your loan in December. We'll give you in January. I said, before you go and use the money to go and buy chicken. And they laughed. The laugh was, I was like, why are you laughing? They said chicken. I said, who they chop chicken? Like, what do you guys eat? See if they even see small beef like this in their food, they'll thank God. It blew my mind. In my head, everybody eats chicken. And chicken is common now. Don't we all eat chicken? It's a bubble. And the worst part is that what's even sad is that those people are more than us. That's the most freakishly scary thing about this country. Is that those guys that don't eat chicken, they're more than us. The day they try to say, hey, oh, we're finished. I'm not even shitting you. That's why we all have to find a way to solve this problem. Do you see what happened at the stadium? The day they just say, hey, anybody that have smartphone, you have car, you are fine, you look fresh, they used to greet you, Egbon. Finish for you. That's why everywhere I go, I tip people, oh, I tip them, please, oh, in case they're looking for us. You help me get out of here. Remember, I was good to you. I'm not even joking with you. Like I live with this terrible paranoia. They are more than us. They are so much. So everybody's not using everybody's not using an iPhone at all. Huh. All right. So that's an inspiration. You can still build a luxury product and still fine, right? But it forces you to think, how can I reduce costs? How can I change the packaging? How can I even change how I distribute it in a way that it can actually target the mass market and you can literally make so much money? So now let's take 10 minutes and work on our business model. Yes. Disruptive thinking, exactly. Think differently. Dare to think differently. All right, so let's work on it. So remember, we're working on the first half: problem to value proposition, customer segments, customer relationships, channels, and revenue streams. Okay. 10 minutes. Anybody else? Okay. Your time starts now. Yeah, so this part. Yes. Yep. This side. From value prop revenue.
I hope everyone can see what it is. You know what we're feeling, right? So we're dealing with value propositions, customer relationships, customer segments, channels, and revenue. I think that's all we're doing.
Yes, sir.
When you like this, I mean, you can just open up our eyes. I like but you don't have to write it in the box. You can write it in your book. Heading and then write it. So we have customer segments, channels, so guys, because I'm seeing some people are still, this is the side you are dealing with, okay? What's white, please?
Okay, who wants to share? Who wants to share? Microphone. Thank you. Who wants to share? Ladies first, then you. Okay.
After this section, I'm thinking that I don't have business.
Zoom out, Kilo.
But let me try. I don't got it right. So value proposition. What value do we deliver to our customers? We provide, okay, my business is village markets. I created a social enterprise business to help support my social impact program. So we understood that women in rural areas have more goods available for them, or they do not really actually have a market to sell to. So I designed a system where we reach people who are in the sort of urban areas to help sell off some of their goods in the market. So in December, we actually did launch and we kind of made some sales. So we had orders from people who like cannot get access to these things, or when they go to supermarkets, the price is like on the high side. So we provide them with affordable prices for the same thing that some of the supermarkets gives them.
Okay.
So what we do is provide affordable food items to people for accessibility, access to cheap and quality food stock. We also create some sort of convenience for people, especially those who are in the professional sector, and we provide a market for our sellers. So I realized that we're not only providing service for the people who occur, we're also providing service for our sellers too. And most importantly, we're creating more jobs for this market women. So for our customer relations.
Okay, wait. So your value proposition, be careful, right? It's the value you are. It's what you're trying to sell. Let's put it this way, right? So for me, from what you've said, you have two main people that you're servicing. You have the people in the farms, the farmers, and then you have the people in the cities or that want food, right? So in thinking about the problem you're trying to solve, on one hand, you're solving post-harvest losses, right? So those people that have farms that harvest a lot and can't get it to market, so you're also solving access. In fact, you're mostly solving access to market for people in rural communities, right? And then for the people in the urban centers, you are solving availability or access to affordable food. Is the AC disturbing you? Why is it down? Is anybody putting it down properly? Okay. So typically, like AC vent should be at angle 45, so that the whole place gets cool. Oh, that's why there's nobody on this row. Okay. So just to condense your value prop, right? On one hand, you're providing access to markets, and then on the other hand, you're providing access to affordable food. So that's your value proposition. All right, great. So who are your customers?
Customers are middle class, those living in the suburban, professional adults, individuals who leverage on social media, and those who live on convenience.
Okay. So also make it. So the reason why I wanted you guys to do this, I can make comments, and then I can explain a little bit better about what each of these segments and how to better couch it. On the customer segment side of things, you want to be as detailed as possible. Remember, this is a new business that you're trying to do, right? There's a saying in the startup space that it's better for a few people to love your product than for lots of people to like your product. Do you know the difference between these two? Yes. Okay. 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 Anybody else?
Products lovers are people who like buy the products, like they pay for it. Or people who like the products are they just come and like, oh, what is selling this now? I'll come up with that. They them for window shopping.
Okay.
In my own opinion, I think in essence, product lovers
It's fine, take your time.
product lovers are people who actually need the products, right? Products like so that's the difference.
Okay. So yeah. Okay, one more person. The lady. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, of course. It's okay.
Product lovers, they do not just buy the products, they talk to everybody about it, and you have a free market with what the products always sell.
Great. So at the beginning of your business, you want to find the market segment that would love your product, right? So people that like your products, they'll buy. They might buy, they might not buy. They have options. You understand? Like the thing about what do I eat today? Can I shape up? There's KFC. There's which one do I want to go to? They like I like KFC chicken. I like SFC fries, right? Well, like okay, which one do I do today? There's a new one in town. Let me go and try it out. Someone that loves your product is going to be an evangelist for your product. So I'll give an example. When Uber came to Nigeria, I was an Uber evangelist for like a couple of months. I loved it. It blew my mind because I would enter a normal car and then on top of it, the man of it insults me. Can you not greet? The car is hot. He just bought fuel. Everywhere is smelling fuel. So maybe his exhaust is broken. The car is smoky. He won't even apologize. They ask me, do I have change? If I don't have change, he'll be insulting me from where he carried me all the way to where he dropped me. I was frustrated with cabs. And then I heard about Uber and I ordered an Uber cab and then the car came. It was a new car. Hey, God. Then the guy came down from the car and opened the door for me. I'm like, oh my God. I entered the car, AC is chilling. He says, I have Bluetooth. Do you want to connect your phone to my, I'm like, eh? He said, I have some sweets in the back if you want some. Do you have a radio channel of choice? I couldn't even take it. And then he dropped me off. I knew that I had to be an Uber evangelist. Everywhere I went, like, have you heard of Uber? Of course, apart from the fact that Uber gave me 2,000 naira for everybody I brought. So the place I would go to that my transport fare back is the money that when you join Uber. So like, have you joined Uber? I said, no, let me download the app for you. I don't have internet, I'll hotspot for you. I will download the app for you. I said, in fact, your first trip is free on me. Okay. Are you like an Uber representative? I'm like, yes, I'm an Uber representative. I represent several international brands. So, and then I'll download the app, I'll download it, I'll get the cab for you. I'm waiting for you to go because until you enter your ride, they will not give me my 2,000 naira. So when you enter your hand, and I'll not start going home. But what was that? I'm sure because of me, like at least if Uber didn't get customers, because of me, at least 200 customers joined Uber, right? But it was because I loved the product. I didn't just like the product. I was in love with the product. So the same thing, your product might appeal to a wide market segment, which is not bad, but you want to narrow down on one niche customer segment that you are sure, or at least you want to try out, would love your product. If it sticks to them, it's easier for your product to spread, right? So focus. Say I'm targeting people in the middle class that earn between 200 and 300,000 naira monthly that live in this particular locality, right? Be as direct, as specific as possible. It will help you in targeting. But at the beginning, you also have limited resources for marketing. You have limited resources to get the word out. So if you already have a very targeted niche, it's easier for you to just go there and sell to them and see if it works or it doesn't work, right? It's like Indomie. Indomie's primary market is who? Kids, right? But you know, Indomie has a bigger market with us singles that just want to eat something fast. But why do they see marketing to kids? Possibly.
The adults are not buying.
Yes. Yeah, the adults want buying, but remember, but because of your child, Indomie go their house. Children are the influencers. When you go to the shop, they're like, mommy, Indomie. So they found a segment of market that love the product. All of us like Indomie, but Indomie is not our food of choice. You understand? Indomie is like, if food no day, if I want to do something fast, but if we want to eat, we know we want to eat, we want to swallow something heavy, something large. You understand? But for kids, Indomie is their food of choice. Like there's Indomie. So why? So you can see why they're still marketing to the children, because they love the product and they are the influencers. They're the ones that will ensure that there's Indomie in the house. And if Indomie in the house, guess who will you eat it? I better quickly make Indomie there for me. Right? So that's the thing. So you have to narrow down, figure out what market segments are likely to love my product. Then you target them. If they love it, their influence will get other people to join in. Cool? All right, continue. Oh, Mike. He goes behind the laptop. It's not on. Yeah.
Right, for channels, which channel do our customers want to reach? Platform is we use an e-commerce site, once we leverage on social media, referrals.
Okay, so channels is how do you get the value to them? Relationships is how do they hear about you, and how do you engage them? So how do they get the product?
We speak to people that are family and friends, just friends actually reach out, and we just have people who are evangelists.
So that's a relationship. So relationship is word of mouth, right? But what are channels? How do they get the product?
The order for it on our website,
okay.
Or for those of them that have personal relationships, they just chat to me by WhatsApp and send it to them.
So there's a logistics company component, there is the chat sales, and then there is the online e-commerce website, right? So those are your channels, right? And then relationships is word of mouth, right? There's also a personal, right? There's a personal relationship. All right. So this is nothing I have to say about relationships and channels. When you are a mass product, you are doing something for lots of people, mass market type of good, like I was trying to inspire you guys to go into, you can't afford to do customized relationships or personalized relationships. It has to be automated. Right? The way I told you about Rolls-Royce. I'm sure Rolls-Royce can tell you that some specific Rolls-Royce brand that they can tell you who actually owns it. They can tell you where, what country. You hear like, hey, this Lamborghini, there are only 3 in the world. Lamborghini knows the 3 people that have it. In fact, when somebody is selling to somebody else, Lamborghini knows that it has changed hands because there are some custom features that come with it that it has to have your name. Probably has to have your fingerprint when you do something like that. So it's just customized. But Toyota cannot dare try it for any of their brands. You get so luxury products come with custom, come with personalized. You get they want to. It's like if there's a particular threshold, if you have over 100 million in your account, you don't go to the bank again. The bank comes to you. They'll tell you, no, sister, you never need to come to the banking hall ever again. Anything you need to change the name and they will send somebody to you. Yes, you want to withdraw, they'll send the money to you. Right? So it's a different type of banking experience. So it's personalized. It's not like the one that all of us, that you go to the bank, they even be shouting, they even tell you, move, shift, jaw. How much is in your account? Right? You stand on to fill form when they collect your 1,000 naira. So the same thing. So you have to figure out. So when you understand what you're doing, you know that if it's mass, it's personalized, it's customized. If it's mass, it's automated. It's something that can mass. So think about it. Think about who now? Think about if Peak Milk wanting to know everybody that buys a sachet of milk and they have to chat them more personally. They'll die now. You get? So it's automated. It's something that you just go pay. We don't need to know who you are. And then channels, when you're thinking about how do you get this to people, if it's mass, many times it has to be they come and pick it up from you. Many times. Because it's difficult. Imagine delivering 1 million pieces. Like you need a whole huge delivery infrastructure. So just think about it in that way as you think about how you fit these two. But there's another thing that we also teach startups, that when you're starting, sometimes you do things that don't scale. What does that mean? It means that if you have 100,000 customers, this thing will not work. But at the beginning, you start with it because you want to build traction. So for example, at the beginning, do you know, who knows how much Uber gives now when you refer someone? 7,000. Now? 7,000? Okay, I need to become an evangelist. I need to put my Uber evangelist cap back on. 7K? Yeah. Uber, 7,000? Please. You go validate this. This information. Validate this information. All right. So for example, the way she's starting out with word of mouth and personalized chat me up, she can't do that by the time she has 3,000 customers. You can't chat me up. You understand? Anybody that even chats you up, you say, please go and use the website, please. Please use the website. Because you not sleep. Hey, I need tomato. How many tomato? 200 tomato. That's why you're chatting me. That's why you're chatting me up at 11 o'clock at night. Right? It's not scalable. But as you grow, at the beginning, you might want to do that because you want to get feedback from your customer. You want them to feel special. But by the time you start growing, you have to now move from personalized to automated. All right. What are your revenue streams? Okay. Okay. So basically, how are you making money, right? So obviously, when they buy the product, they pay. They pay for the product. Great. Now, one of the things I want to talk about here is what they call value-added services. Right? Value-added services. Now, many times you only think about like people buy your service, people pay for your product, so that's your revenue stream. But there are other ways, there are many other things you can layer on it to keep deriving more value. Every business person knows that it's easier to upsell an existing customer than to acquire a new customer. Right? The cost of acquiring a new customer is so much higher than upselling in a. So when you're already, if you're already a customer, you're already here, we already have your attention. Clearly, we're doing something right for you to have come. Now, because you're already here and you already like us, or probably love us, we can then sell you other stuff, more and more stuff. So for example, you can say, if you order online for our produce, right? Ordering 300 naira for whatever you pay, whatever your bill. Then you can say, okay, we have another service that if you want, we can deliver it to you. You can come and pick up, but you can deliver it to you either 500 naira. Right? Then imagine, okay, we can really manage an inventory for you. So you don't have to even be ordering. Every month, a subscription system where we just give you package tomato, cabbage, lettuce, this. Or you have to pay 6 months in advance, subscription based for you. Oh, we can even now, so you can layer on associated services to your product that makes it more valuable, right? And then people can actually buy and add. So you see how, for example, MTN will ask you, do you want color tunes? Do you want this? Do you want alert on stock exchange, stock market? Do you want, what are all those things? Those are value-added services. You're already an MTN customer, Dama. Your bank will tell you, hey, do you want SMS alert? Yes, 5 naira after SMS. Do you want email alert? Yes, 50 kobo per alert. Do you want, do you get? So they're ready, so they're thinking about what other ways can we milk and get more money from this already existing customer. Cool? So to think about, so you can think about your product that way. What other thing can I build for? Apple started with, when you buy an Apple iPhone, everything came inside the box. Now everything doesn't come inside the box again. Now they say that while removing earphone jack, guess what? You have to go and buy earphone. Because now earphone doesn't come with iPhone again. So you have to go and buy earphone. But guess what? You can't buy on a normal earphone because they have changed the jack. So you have to now buy AirPod or AirPod Pro or buy the jack from them. Now charger doesn't even come with phone again, only wire. You have to go and look for where to go and get the head. Then the worst part is now they've not changed the head of the this thing, not type C. So every other head cannot even charge your phone again. You have to go and buy a special head. So they're ensuring that you are buying more things from them. The one thing that you bought leads you to buy and to buy and to buy and to buy and to keep buying from them. Right? So that's value-added services. So you can think about, how do I build Apple is the best at this. They've built an ecosystem around their product. And they've also made something so beautiful that their products connect seamlessly to each other. It's just, sorry, I'm an Apple evangelist right now. Right? So if you've not used it, you just trust me. You can't understand what I'm saying. And I feel like all those Apple beefers, just don't use an Apple product. Don't. Because once you do, you'll be hooked. My brother is a victim of the Apple movement. All right, so but you get my point, right? In thinking about your revenue, think about how many other ways can I make money from the same customer? How many other things can I do that I can charge for? That way, sometimes your real product itself might not be expensive. But we say, okay, but if you want to add this, add this, and add this, and add this, and add this, then we can bring it to you, can massage your feet, massage your back, can even bath you. All for extra money, right? Cool. All right, somebody else wants to share? One more person, and then we would move. Oh my God, I've finished my time. This class is so engaging.
Okay, mine is ads. I want to share my own.
Yes.
Mine is on ads. My products, value propositions are AdWords.
What's the problem you're trying to solve?
The problem I'm trying to solve is people.
Okay. Okay. Do you mind if I take 10 minutes to explain something that I always explain in front of at the beginning of my class, but I missed it this time? Why do you guys think that they had to create a special program for creative entrepreneurs? Just curious. Yeah.
That's why I think it's mostly difficult for creative to be able to move from creative to business, be able to transfer their house.
Why do you think so?
I think it's because we are more passionate and we think about our passion and understanding that we can actually make money for our passion.
Okay.
I think trying to move products or being an artist, what we give ourselves and then to activate the reason why people need it. Pretty much the same thing. In my head, sometimes art is one of the very primary needs. So, how to be like, I think it's focused on just creating, like thinking about the 7 parts to just create.
Thank you. So this is it. Me and Mr. Philip have had this debate. They almost lynched me here one time when I came to come and bust all their bubbles. So this very, very funny conversation, art versus tech, and that tech is getting all the funding and art is not getting any funding, and that people need to come and fund art and art businesses and stuff. And I told them that they should shut up. I said, shut up. I said, shut up. I said, because you have to understand the mind of the investor, right? An investor is investing in something that has the potential to return his capital and so much more, right? And so investors, so quickly, tech people realize that it had nothing to do with my code. It had to do with the problem I'm trying to solve. I can write very beautiful, fancy code. If nobody uses it, nobody's going to care. Nobody cares about the code. I don't know if you have ever gone and check what's the code behind Facebook. I need to check if this code is written ethically. I don't really, have you ever tried? You didn't? You didn't do that? Are you sure? Do you care? Do you care? No. Do you even care who coded it? Who cares? I want to just go there and type a message to my friend, and my friend gets the freaking message. I have a problem when my friend doesn't get the message, right? Good. So tech people quickly realize that nobody really cares. People just want to solve a headache. I have a headache. I want to swallow Panadol, and I want the headache to go. I don't care what's inside the headache. I remember I've ever checked what's that Panadol. You've read the ingredients of Panadol before. Have you read the ingredients? You've read the ingredients. No, if you don't understand, you Google it now. If you really care. If your head is paining you and you really care what you're swallowing, you will check the ingredients, you Google it. You will say where they pick it from. Emzor paracetamol, where do they pick their own from? Who picks it for them? I need to be sure that this is done ethically. I need to be sure. In fact, I need to visit Emzor's factory to check how they are producing this Panadol before I swallow it. You'd have died of headache. Right? You don't care. All you care about is, I want to solve the problem. Entrepreneurs, tech people quickly understood that's all people care about. That's what the investor cares about, right? And they did that. So art people on the flip side have it in reverse. Art people start with the passion. Like, oh, I love to cook. Oh, culinary. I love to take pictures. Okay, now they're asking, how do I monetize it? That's the problem. You started with the product and you're asking, how do I monetize it? And it's difficult because on one hand, you are attached to the product because your art and you are one. True? If I come and tell you that your pictures are shitty, you're going to want to lynch me. How dare you say my pictures are shitty? Do you know how long it took? Do you know the angle I stayed? Do you know what? Do you know the vision I saw? You can't tell me that my art is shitty. My art is me. Me and my art are one. Right? Right? But the tech entrepreneur is not attached to his product. You've seen the evolution of Facebook. In fact, you cannot wake up tomorrow and see the interface of Google has changed. The logo has changed. They don't really care really much about those. They care about, is my customer deriving value? And whatever value is to my customer is what we will do. So for example, Mark Zuckerberg was saying that they didn't realize that Instagram was going to become one of the biggest e-commerce companies in the world. Instagram was supposed to share pictures, take pictures, share with your friends and family. But guess what? People started buying on Instagram. And now, even though that Instagram has a cat, by the way, we're the last people to have it. Like, they launched the cat like 3 years ago in some countries. Yeah, like I was at the program where Mark mentioned that they were going to start testing sales on Instagram, right? Because they're already buying and selling on Instagram. But my point that you can see that Mark is not attached to the original idea of Instagram. It's a photo sharing. All you do is share photos. No, you're not allowed to buy. We'll blacklist you for selling. No, that's what the artist would do. Say, no, this is an art piece. This is how you treat my art. Say, but it looks like a chair. But it's not a chair. It's not a chair. Oh my God, these people. A tech entrepreneur will say, oh my God, they're sitting on it. Then it's a chair. Make more chairs, please. you see the difference? So these guys start with the problem and they find a solution and they keep evolving to meet the market. These people here start with a passion and then I say, how do we sell it? So it's different when you're now looking for a problem that your product will solve. You've already produced the product. This is the product. Now, what can the product solve? What can it solve? Do you have a problem? What can the problem? No, you cannot solve your problem. You're not my customer. Get out of here. Can you solve your problem? Nah, get out. And you have to be careful how they use your product. That's not how to use it. Stop. Let me show you how. This is how to. Yeah, try it. No. In fact, give me. Go. Go. Right. I'm just mentioning that because you mentioned. Yeah. Yeah. That would be bad. Yeah.
Okay, as an artist,
Yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah. Yeah. All I'm saying is like, find a problem. Find a problem. Whatever you're doing should be because there's a problem. So an example. How many of you drank a multivite this morning? Yes. Every class, they have one outlier that always drinks multivite. Every class, there's always one person that drinks a multivite. Why are you drinking multivite, young man? You mean you drink a multivite You didn't drink your multivite. Why? Why? No, he drank his multivite. I don't want to know why he drank it. So why did you drink your multivite? Do you know you need it? Do you need it? Do you need vitamins? So you knew you need vitamins. Well, you did not drink your multivite. Okay, so imagine if we had this same class, with 80-year-olds, how many of them do you think would have drank their multivite today? Are they eating fruit? Why are they drinking multivite? If you went to the hospital today, maybe just escorted your friend, maybe your friend say, they said they need blood. We went to go and give blood. I just tested, just say, let's test your blood quickly. Just tested. And they tested. And then they said, oh my God, do you have any relation here? They say, no, say, please sit down. Please call your mom. Like, call. Say, what's going on? Say, please, come relax, calm down. Call your mom, please. Your mom in town. Say, yes, call her, please. Like, what's going on? What was going on? Say, just call your mom. Your mom comes and says, please, ma'am, your daughter is dying. She's almost dead. I'm surprised she walked in here. He said she needs to drink this bottle of 2 tablets of this multivitamin every day. Will you drink it? Why? Problem. There's not a problem that the multivite is supposed to solve, right? Now, when you find a problem, so a very perfect example of a problem that now exists is, I used to my art friends and okay, look, think about this. In Abuja, plus or minus 3 million people, upper middle class, say 300,000 upper middle class people, 300,000, right? Let's say around that 300,000, let's say even 100,000. 100,000 of them will celebrate their birthday in a year. 100,000 divided by 12 is about 10,000-ish, 9,000, 8,000, some 9,000 something every month. There are going to be about 9,000 birthdays every month. Now, can you create a product that sells a birthday package to 9,000 people every month? These days, every lady must snap picture, right? They have to take glamour picture that they're going to post on their birthday. They have to buy a birthday cake. They have to buy fine dress to take that picture. True? That's a problem. Once it's the girl's birthday, 2 weeks to her birthday, she'll start thinking, what dress am I going to wear? Where am I going to get my cake? Who's going to take my picture? Style of hair am I going to do? What nails am I going to do? That's a whole industry. It's very, very different from the thinking that, I bake cakes. Who do I sell my cakes to? From people have birthdays and they have a problem getting cakes. I want to give them cakes. The same product, the way they think about it is different. Therefore, the outcomes of their businesses will be different. That's why you realize that the best, biggest cake companies many times are not owned by culinary people, and their cakes are terrible. But they understand the business of cake making, which is different from the art of cake making. So now, tell me about your business. So what's the problem you're trying to solve? Yes.
Problems like under the graphs are like the things we know the world,
Is that a problem? Yeah.
So this here is actually the exact problem. And this is what you've been trying to get us to do for quite a while now. Genuine creatives. He's not his founder, but he's still trying to fit us back into that mode. He's not thinking it through as you say. So he's not even looking at, he truthfully appears not to be able to find what.
Because he has figured out the product already. It's like my product is not going to change. Okay? So we have to find a problem that this product is going to solve because the product is not changing. Yes.
Okay, at first I was not going to read out. No, I'm not going to read out. Like, the paragraphs, I know what I wrote down was she.
Oh my God. I like this. I like this.
I'm proud of the process was good. I'm able to like remove the damage. But now I move on to be able to like actually.
Okay, great.
Because we're sort of closely related, and that should be finding a problem. We need to have this great conversations like this spaces. A lot of people have issues with creating those creating a piece that can start a conversation even before your guests even come into a space, whether commercial or residential. So that could possibly be a problem for him.
No, but that's the thing. It can't be it can't be a problem for him. It can be a problem for you, for example, right? You get, but because the thing about the problem is it has to be something that you perceive, you've experienced, and you now want to solve. You can't collect problem from somebody.
So she's obsessing artist. And I kind of think that it would make more sense if you went to someone who wants to invest and tell them that you want to eradicate the problem of waste. There's a lot of pollution, so much damage, so much stuff, you know, and this is really what they're trying to do. We are not doing it conventional. We are actually turning that into a lot of wealth. They're giving value back to people. That way you can start having that one. There's a problem that are really trying to solve.
Yeah.
As opposed to just creating art out of damage. I'm going to think about it. It might be someone that doesn't care about art. But when fact that it's recycled, you bring his friends and say, okay, let's come as a soft piece recycle. But it's going to be at an art gallery. And we're going to also ask our buying to support recycling.
Right. So honestly, this exercise, try and we're gonna have to move on now and watch the videos, right? But yeah, okay. But you have to do this. Don't start with the end. Don't have you in secondary school we have copied now. You have copied before. Like early maths. The guy what's answer 7. So now that anytime I have to walk into 7. It must be 7 at the end. So you have to start working to make sure you're walking. We show 7. So you don't get one point like 500 x plus c equals 7. It has to be 7. Like I don't know. I don't know how to do it again, but I know I should be 7. so don't do that, right? Don't dare to rethink and be very, very happy to find out that the answer is not what you thought it was. Right? Be very, very happy to find out that maybe it's a variation of what you thought it was. Maybe it's something totally different, maybe something more niche, maybe it's still related, and maybe you just need to even just scrap that entirely. Or maybe just realize that, you know what, I think I need to go and get a job. And then do my art as a hobby. And it's possible, and that's possible too. Okay, so you and then we go back to the videos.
Yeah. I'm also thinking about the passion for being the end product.
Yeah.
So I'm a dance artist and we started with the passion because we need to learn art also sell the product. So for you saying that the product, the passion that product can help with that.
Okay.
Because we need to understand our art for us to be marketing ours for who we want to buy it. So in the process of learning your art, you now go with your target audience, who what you want to do, what products you want to sell, and who you want to sell it to, and what problem you want to solve. So if I'm a dance artist and I don't know how to dance or what the basic elements of foundation of dance, then I can't be able to find a product and sell it out there. So for me, the passion is not the passion. We develop and find out what them and solve it.
Okay. So again, this mindset is the problem. Okay, let me explain this again to you again. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah, okay. Hello.
Now, MI goes illegal music that doesn't sell, and he does normal album that sells, right? Those normal albums you saw that like they will sing African rapper, they will do all of that, and Nigerian market can relate. To make money, because it's very important. Now, he does illegal music as his initial, just for illegal music sounds like foreign samples, all those big things that run, and then that is just this is what I feel like. I'm not saying kind of like the moment because I sample it and I do
Take permission.
This is people. I want to express myself. But when I want to make my note, I'm so what to do. And people say, where am I sold out from? People say,
Rugged man, yeah. They call me the Baraja master, but they brought me fame and money faster.
Because it feels like I love the fact. Because when they sign you, they tell you, all this is this is how you want to be. You understand? So that's why I think you look at the phone because you're in love with your craft. And you want to speak to you. I'm also like understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to find it. If you're going to eat from it, then you have to.
Thanks, bro. Again, you have to understand again, please just realize this. There is a difference between the business of a thing and the art of a thing. Many times, even in the art space, the owners of the business are not artists. Why? When you see trends, right? So one of the things I like to do is that when I see trends, I don't like to always believe that everybody else is stupid and I'm the smartest person, right? Like, you get why? Like me, I hate Biggie, but I had to give it up for Biggie now. They got something right. I hate Alamo, but Alamo gave Guinness a run for their money. Alamo is crude. Alamo tastes like crap, but Alamo gave Guinness a run. Guinness could not believe it that Alamo was going to kick them out of the market. They could not believe it. That's why they created Origin. They could not believe it. But somebody was listening to the market. You get? So it doesn't start with the art. It starts with the business. That's why at the end of the day, somebody else will come and create a biggest dance studio and you will not know how to dance. He will not even be able to move. He will not be able to move. But he knows that he will find out that, hey, dance is a means of expression. People have a problem expressing. So what I'm going to do is this. We're going to create a dance studio that the name of the studio is Expressions. And it's going to be expressing stuff. So what we're going to do is very simple. You have a birthday. Your birthday is coming. What is the one thing as a man that you've not been able to ever express out? You say it. We'll express it for you on your birthday with dance. The guy cannot dance. Well, you get all of the people that can dance, and people come and dance. Then they will pay him 5 million, he will pay you 300K. But what does he understand? He understands the business. It's like Netflix. The owner of Netflix is not a producer. Yeah.
So these are so I don't think that the dancer should not go to the business side of dance. For example, one person might have studied business and see a whole lot of money in the dance sector and want to invest in it. But how do we tell terms of holistic in the process of art. Maybe there's some art to move to the business. But I don't understand anything about business. So this is really hard. So I'm not saying that the business should start out. I'm not saying that there should be a process of learning. Until he or she has learned the business of that, then can venture into it. But first of all, it starts from understanding the art and understanding of the market sector of the industry for it to move into the business. And so that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I hear you. What I'm saying is that you don't need the art to do the business. Now, you have said that the process is to learn the art, then go into the business. I'm telling you no. I'm telling you that you don't need to know the art to go into the business of art. Yeah, that also doesn't mean. But then if you must be an artist going into the business of art, then you have to drop your conception of your art and then begin the process of the business. Because if you fall in love with your art, you will have a problem with the business.
We have how many more videos?
5. Yes. Yeah. We'll be there, right? No, but I need you to drop your art cap so that you can wear your business cap. That's why you need to drop. And I know it's very, very hard. It's very hard because it's personal. When you're attached to something, it's very, very personal, right? So you need to hello one house. You need to drop your artist cap to wear the business cap. You just have to. That's the only way this will work.
Because we need to move on, we really be like that. Please, if you have a question, please write it down.
Right.
Okay.
And we'll take questions at the end, right?
And then all this will take questions. So that we can. And then those who need to go can leave, and those who want to stay and like you will network and do that. So please.
All right. All right, Pro. Let's watch the rest. Oh.
You can think of a business model like a story of how your enterprise will create, deliver, and capture value. And like a story, it can be one you've heard over and over before. For instance, you can start with what most people are fixated on, the value proposition. Travel for retirees. Then decide whom you can sell it to. Yep, boomers. Sketch in how you'll get it to them. Okay, a website. And how that will generate revenue. Sure, sales fees. You'll make it easy and automated. Next, you figure out what key resources you need to offer all that, like a reliable website and brand recognition. Carl's thinking his key activities will be marketing, website, and maintenance, and then partners will do the booking. And finally, where your costs will come from. Sales, marketing, platform development, all that will cost you. There you go, your first model. But don't expect a medal or a breakthrough. Predictable models can work, but rarely give you a competitive advantage, so don't fall in love with your first idea. To compete in a world where the best model wins, you'll need to think harder and explore alternatives. For example, prototype a model where you give away your value proposition for free. This will instantly change everything. You might not find this model realistic, but exploring it will force you to think hard about potential alternatives. As an entrepreneur, you're thinking of your model 24/7. Now you have a tool to structure your ideas as quick prototypes to consider with your team. Who knows, you might wind up with a disruptive model that changes an entire industry, like Skype with its freemium model, or Nespresso, which became a multi-billion-dollar business by locking customers into purchasing high-margin espresso capsules. In fact, understanding innovative or simply successful business models in other industries can be a great place to start getting to your breakthrough. There's no right or wrong way to do it, just 3 rules to start with. First, focus on the business model, not just your product, technology, or service. Second, don't fall in love with your first models. The best models are built on clever, unexpected elements, and that comes from creating many less obvious versions. Which leads to the third rule. Iterate rapidly and test your models early, in the real world. How do you do that? Don't worry, guys. We're about to learn all about the real world beyond our canvas. Remember the chaos your idea faced before you made the canvas? Well, you've tamed some of it by mapping the elements that are mostly within your control. But the world out there is full of threats, constraints, and opportunities beyond your control. They create the environment in which you'll design and build your business model, and in which your business will fight for survival every day. Just because you can't control these factors doesn't mean you can't and shouldn't account for them in your model. Doing so will help prepare your model for threats, ready it for changing legal constraints, and prime it to jump on innovations. Let's see how mapping the environment will affect the Boomer travel agency model. On the right, you'll map market forces, everything related to the customer segments you've selected. Ask yourself, which other segments are there? Which ones are the most lucrative? Looks like Beth's discovered a segment of boomers with a range of disposable wealth. You could ask, which segments are growing and what do they most want? And why might your customers resist? Okay, good. Boomers have trouble adapting to new technology. Now above your canvas, map key trends. Are new technologies about to undercut your value proposition or supercharge it? What regulations are coming up? How is society at large shifting? Right, Carl, rising medical costs could weigh heavily on your customers. Now to the left, map industry forces. Who are your main competitors? What advantages do their business models provide? Could they crush you? Your industry may already have a dominant competitor, but ask yourself, where are their weaknesses? Can you disrupt them? What might happen as suppliers and partners evolve or don't? Better to know now that the travel field is crowded and volatile, right, Carl? Finally, below your canvas, map macroeconomic forces. How is the global economy doing? Markets may be in a state of rampant uncertainty. How available is capital? Venture capitalists may be taking few risks. How well is the infrastructure developed in the market you are doing business in? Sure, many boomers are experiencing a decline in living standards. Now you've mapped your environment, full of threats, opportunities, and constraints. What do? Use the map, of course, to make your business model more responsive. Looking at industry forces on the left side of your canvas, ask, does your model have a competitive edge today? Tomorrow? Good thinking, Beth. That dominant competitor could be a threat. Looking at key trends on the top of your canvas, ask, is your model prepared for emerging trends? Okay, if rising medical costs encourage overseas treatment, that could be an opportunity for your travel agency. On the right for market forces, is your model in line with evolving customer needs? Sure, if your customers are resistant to the internet, you're right to rethink delivery through a website. And below for macroeconomic forces, how will your model adjust to macroeconomic shifts? Yes, Beth. Unfortunately, travel is becoming a luxury that a growing number of your customers can't afford. But don't be overwhelmed by these elements. Asking and answering these questions will help make your business model better suited to its environment and that much more likely to succeed. Now you're ready to start testing your model in the real world.
Within your business, right? Yes. Let's start again. So your business model just controls your business itself and what the things you can control, your value, the customers, how you're going to reach them and all of that. But there are external factors that you can't control. And it'd be very, very silly of us to think that the external factors won't affect our businesses. So for example, knowing that there's no light in Nigeria. So there's no how you will not factor in your cost and factor in your business that you'll not realize that, hey, there's an epileptic power supply here, or the fact that diesel is rising now, right? Those are clearly things that would affect your unit economies or affect your business, and you must factor them in. So on one hand, they said, think about market forces, right? Think about what segments of the market you want to attack, but also what other segments do exist. So for example, Indomie is not oblivious of the fact that single people and adults also eat Indomie, right? Because they also let you know how they're going to distribute Indomie and what kind of programs and initiatives they're going to be able to sponsor and fund. So while they're advertising primarily to kids, they're also ensuring that adults have access and are able to get the product and the services, right? So you think about what other segments exist, but also what segments are growing and what segments are declining. It's very possible that you're attacking a market segment that's on a decline. So if you're doing that, then you have to know that, look, I need to also begin to think about another market segment if my segment is declining. Also, it's also good for you to know that, okay, I might be attacking this segment now because it's good and everything is all green and rosy, but there's a growing market segment that is coming and I need to start preparing for that market segment. So this is what you think about when you think about market forces, right? Also, you want to think about what are the barriers to using my product that people might face. The way, not up until this new startup came out with agent banking, all the banks were sitting down there for the last three to 4 decades, not doing anything about other people who couldn't access banks. They didn't do anything about it. They didn't care about it. But these young guys came and said, no, we need to rethink banking. Bank doesn't have to be a location. Bank can be a POS. A POS machine can be a bank. Even these young guys didn't come about, like nobody would have thought about, right? But probably thinking, what are the hurdles? What barriers, and how can I break those barriers for the people that want to access my products, right? Then you need to think about key trends. Key trends are what's really going on in your society, and this is very important. I remember some 3 years ago we were talking to so my last firm where I was working as a VC, our largest portfolio was in fintech. So fintech means finance technology. So we invested in people like Paystack back in the day, Piggyvest. And one of the areas that we didn't invest in, but we were very concerned about was cryptocurrency. And we told them, because then some startups had raised, one guy was my classmate in school, had raised some serious money from cryptocurrency. And we kept telling them, engage with the central bank now. They said, no, it's unregulated. We said, we know it's not regulated, but they're going to come for you. Knowing Nigeria, understanding the country that you are in, they will come for you. The only way to do it is be proactive about engaging them, not reactionary when they come for you. And did they come for them? Yes. CBN governor woke up one day, gave a speech and banned crypto. All of a sudden, guess what? Guys, you have raised $2 million. You have to close down. And they closed. So they moved to Zimbabwe, moved to South Africa. That's moved out of the country, right? But the point is, you can't just ignore that you live in a country where some guy can wake up tomorrow and kill an industry. You have to be aware of that. They have to be aware, how do I engage and ensure that this doesn't happen to me, right? Also have to think about what regulations exist today. And then just give an example. There's this guy that we met one time that we're going to invest in. Incredible business. The guy, when Buhari came, Bubu came and he locked down foreign Forex. And our Forex is it's so difficult to do anything with Forex. Difficult to transfer Forex, difficult to collect Forex, difficult to withdraw Forex. It's like, you don't want anyone to do anything with Forex. This guy just found a very simple idea. He said, okay, you want to pay your children's school fees in America, right? There's a guy in America now sending money to his grandmother in Nigeria. So you send money to his mother, he will pay your child's school fees. Incredible idea. In 2 months, they were doing over 40 million naira in revenue. This was their own share of their cut of the deal. Over 2 months, over 40 million. They had too much money, young boys. But we couldn't invest in them. Why? It was head-on against regulation. It was like they can't take that. The best they can do that thing is on WhatsApp and Telegram. They can't take it mainstream. They will kill them. They can't register it. Right? So you have to know what regulations exist. And also what technology works now, what technology is coming. Is the tech going to destroy my business or is it going to promote my business? You need to know what's going on. Because sometimes the industry, for example, like anybody who is saying that, I want to build an agent platform for people to find people that can sell filling station, people that can sell gas in cars, is building a dying business. Why? Because the tech is coming that people are going to just go into the filling station and serve themselves. So anybody that wants to think that I want to build $1 billion business from that is crazy because it's not going to work, right? So you know what's going on in the world and how it's going to affect my business. Industry forces. Who is my competition? This is what I want to talk about. Competition. Many times when you ask startups who your competition is, they think, or they say, oh, no. I'll give an example. They'll say, I have no competition. I say, why? They say, there are people who are doing gas cooker and some people are doing gas oven, but nobody's doing gas cooker and oven together. I'm the one. I'm doing gas cooker and oven together. So I have no competition. That's stupid. So competition is not necessarily saying who is doing what you are doing. No. Competition is how is your customer solving that problem today? That's your competition. So I'll give an example. I was consulting one time for a nanny company. And then they were wondering why their business wasn't working. It was a no-brainer. We'll get you a nanny. We'll do background check on nanny. We'll ensure nanny. But why are people not getting nanny? And I said, because they said, but and there's no that nanny agency in Abuja. I said, okay, but do you know that there's nanny agency? They said, no, they've checked. They've done that research. There's no nanny agency. I said, okay, let me tell you nanny agency. Auntie Yabo will give you her cousin, her daughter to come and stay with you. You train her in school, she'll be your house girl. What's that? That's nanny agencies. That's the Yabo nanny agency. Grandma or mommy will come and take care of baby or mugo after you give birth. Then she'll not stay 1 more year extra because she's fighting with her husband. What's that? Nanny agency. I said, so until you realize that however your customer is solving the problem today is your competition, then you now have to think about what will I now offer that is better than mama coming for mugo? What will I offer that is better than Iyabo's daughter staying with you, even though Iyabo is your cousin? Then you begin to really think. The other thing is your business defensible? Defensible means is it copied? You say, okay, I found a loophole. Right? It's like all these POS guys say they found a loophole. Guess what? We're going to do POS banks. What did it take for the other banks to create POS agent banking? Nothing. They say, oh, that's the way now. Boom. First bank created First Mobile everywhere. And guess what? They have more money now. They flood everywhere with their POS. So is your business, is it really defensible? Like, if somebody was going to copy, is it easily copied? Can the big market, the dominant market person copy your idea? It's like Snapchat. Snapchat came and they were feeling, hey, filters. Facebook, Instagram just woke up one day and all these filters. What did it take for them to do filters? 50 developers. Yeah, come and code filters. Like, these filters kill Snapchat. Right? So is it easily copied? Do I have something that is really unique that is so hard to copy? Right? Someone said, I can't pitch my idea to you, you will copy it. If pitching your idea to me can allow me to copy it, then you have a terrible idea. Right? So you need to think about that. Then then you need to think about, like, so in all of these things, think about SWOT. SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Right? You need to think about them, you need to know them so you can respond to them. It's not just knowing them for knowing sake. It's that, look, this is my strength. This is what makes me unique. This is something that nobody can copy. This is my strength, right? Weakness, this is an area like I know I'm not going to do so well at. Well, how am I going to do? Okay, maybe I need to partner with somebody else who that's their strength. My weakness is their strength, and my strength is their weakness. Do you understand? Opportunities, where are the new segments that are coming up that we can see? We can see opportunities and that we can position for, we can respond to, right? And then threats, what's out to kill me? And in Nigeria, everything is out to freaking kill you. Everything is out to kill you as a business, right? The government is out to kill you. The environment is out to kill you. Health, your houseboy is out to kill you. Like everything is out to kill you. So you have to know, and you have to be aware, you have to be fair. So even though everything is out to kill you, you have to get your gun, your knife, your machete. Everything has to be ready. You get, and that's how you need to think about it as a business owner. Cool? You want to say something? Okay. All right. So let's do the next one, and I'll talk about tests after the next.
Alright, you've got your model, you made your best guess. Time to fail. I know it's hard to hear, but even your most promising prototype is pretty certain to fail. Many of your hypotheses are bound to be wrong. Luckily, the canvas makes it easy to adapt, as long as your mistakes are cheap and you act quickly to fix them. See, the only judge of a business model is your future customer. What you've created so far are just hypotheses, guesses that need to be true for your business model to succeed. You have to test these hypotheses, fail or succeed, learn, then adjust. This process is known as customer development and lean startup. Begin by explicitly stating the most important hypotheses underlying your business model. Okay, you believe that boomers crave custom travel experiences that are tailored to their needs, that a great brand can overcome a dominant competitive advantage. Great. Now get out into the world and see if you're right. You can conduct low-cost experiments to test your most important hypotheses. Talk to your distributors, potential partners, and industry experts. But most importantly, talk to your prospective customers. They're likely to have questions and concerns that never crossed your mind. The idea of overseas travel might be stressful for your customers. Money could be a concern, or it might just be a general lack of interest. Learning that overseas travel is not attractive to many more customers can feel like a major setback. Avoiding learning skills can also lead you to unexpected opportunities, like the fact that retirement is cheaper overseas.
And this might lead you to modify your original idea in favor of something new. As you gain confidence with your model, you should intensify testing. But you'll fail in others because there will always be factors that you can't foresee from your office. If you adapt rapidly and cheaply, you can account for these factors. Solutions like quality assurance for high standards might be easier to implement through retirement village franchises. The more you test, the more you learn, the more your model matures. It's time to start thinking about business models in a revolutionary new way. The era of the fixed business plan is over. To compete today, you need an evolving business model. And if you document your evolution, you can play back your canvases like a flip book, a valuable documentation of your increasingly viable business model. Now your business model is not just a bunch of guesses. You've tested, adapted, and your business model is now likely to succeed. You're ready for the next step. It's time to pitch your model.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. All right. So on that area where startups have a lot of challenges is with testing. So you have an idea, great idea, you think it's going to work. Every entrepreneur always believes that idea is going to work, right? The first thing you want to do is you want to be sure. You want to test your assumptions. You hear people say that, oh, I'm very, very sure. Why? So I spoke to 10 people and 8 of them said they will buy, right? Okay, 10 of them are your friends and family. Many of them say they will buy because they like you. So imagine someone came to pitch to you now. Imagine your friend came to pitch to you, say, man, look, I have a new fashion design, is mind-blowing, is off the charts. Say, what is it? It's a new pants, it's one leg short, one leg long. They look, babe, look, I'm telling you, this is gonna rock the industry. This is the next big thing. She asks you, will you buy? She's your girlfriend. Cannot say no now. You want to be girlfriendless? You say, babe, of course, I'm solidly behind you. Anything you want, I'll buy. If I won't buy 10, come and meet you. She's your best friend. Will you buy? Of course, I will buy. Now she takes that and says, oh my God, people want this, people want this. She goes and takes a loan, 20 million naira from the bank, goes to China. She's shipping a whole trailer load, a whole container of one leg short, one leg long trouser. What do you think will happen when she brings it? You must buy. Hey, boyfriend, you will buy half of that container today. Why? Because now she has no choice but to be attached to it. Because she's invested so much in it. She just has to be attached at this point. Now it's not more about the emotion, it's not about her heart again. It's not about my money. And the debtors are coming to come and collect their money from me, right? Creditors are going to collect their money from me. So my point is, when you invest so much cash into your business that you have not tested, you get attached again. This is another thing that makes you attached. So what you want to do, you want to test quickly and you want to test cheaply. And you have to be open to failing. You have to be open to people saying, I don't want. So you can't talk to people that love you already, that like you already, and already don't want to hurt you. You want to talk to perfect strangers. Now, how do you talk to them also matters. So many times people want to do surveys. But the truth is that many times people don't feel surveys honestly. People feel surveys, wait, they're saying, what do they want me to say? Okay, so I will say it for you so you'll be happy. And people don't like to feel surveys. The best way to test is to make people make a buying decision. And I'll give an example. Some people will say, okay, create a website and then ask a question, will you buy? Many people say yes. I'll give an example. A Ferrari today launched a new Ferrari, 70 million, in fact, 100 million, $1 million, right? And they go on Instagram and they do an ad for Africa and say, wait, we're considering doing an African expansion for Ferrari brand, right? And they do a survey in Africa, and then it comes to me and they say, will you buy? What will I say? Yes. Will you say no? Will you say no? But if they bring the Ferrari now and say, yeah, buy, you're like, oh, so no. All right, men. What I meant was like, one day, I hope I will be able to buy a Ferrari. I'm able to buy a Ferrari. So imagine Ferrari does a survey of Africa, push that thing out. All of us in this room clicked yes. Our friends click yes. Ferrari say, oh my God, the CEO of Ferrari says, guess what we didn't know? So what we didn't know? We have a market in Africa. Now we need to go and build a factory because we can't even ship from here. The cost of shipping 100,000 Ferraris from here won't make sense. We need to go and build a factory in Africa. Oh, baby, now baby is going to grow. You get, he's built a business model on a survey that was aspirational. All of us aspire to get a Ferrari. We can't afford a Ferrari. So the only way to really prove it is that Ferrari did launch that campaign and say, the car is $1 million, pay now. Aha. All of us have seen that Instagram ad now. We liked it when we saw it. It was very, very fine. Then we clicked, it took us to the website. We're reading. And I see $200, pay now. All of us close the page and go back to our timeline of free pictures that we can view. Nonsense. Don't fire you. $200, your father. Nonsense. Water bottle, $200. How much water bottle in the market? But the funny part, that page, you screenshot it, you saved it, you even sent it to your friend, and then they'll be saying, oh, engagement. but why you were sharing it was very, very different from what they expected, right? So my point that the only proof that people will buy is that they bought. So the way you can test it is two ways. One way is create a landing page that says it's 100 naira, buy now. Even though you don't have it, you've not built it, you don't have it. Now, when they click on it, anybody that clicks on that button had the money to buy and really intended to buy. Yes, anybody that clicks buy now, buy. Yes, they saw the price. You click buy if you don't have the money. Nobody's going to click buy if you don't have the money, right? You click learn more if you don't have the money. You will click fill a survey if you don't have the money. But if they say pay, nobody's clicking pay because we don't even know how these days, this internet people, maybe they already have your card. Maybe your card. maybe your card. No, I'm not clicking pay anything if I'm not going to buy. It's like you just click pay. You just say, no, I'm not even going to take that chance. I'm going to take that chance. I'm closing that page if I'm not buying. My point is that if you click pay, anybody that clicks pay would really want to buy. Then you can even then say after they click pay, say, oh, thank you for opting in. We're currently oversubscribed, and we will get back to you once we have room. Please drop your contact details here, and we'll get back to you. Anybody who does that is going to be your customer, who have bought. In fact, some people are even there collect your money self and go and buy it and send to you. I had a friend started a rice business with 0 naira. Like this guy's a hustler, baby. She's like superstar hustler. She started a rice company, created posters, everything, did it by herself on Canva, created everything, put it out there, was promoting her rice company up and down, had brand, had logo, everything. She didn't have 1 naira, she didn't have 1 rice. Someone said, hey, my God, I want rice. I'm looking about to buy local rice. I need 10 bags. They said, we can deliver to you. She billed the person, said it takes us 3 days to deliver. So they said, okay, sent her the money. That day, she collected the money, went to Benway, bought the rice, delivered it. So it's possible to collect the money and then go and buy it and then sell it right after, right? So my point is that the only way to test to know if people will buy is that they bought. Yes, so you can create a landing page, and these days there's so many ways to create landing page. There's Wix, there is even on Instagram, there's Linktree. Like it made so many easy ways. There's Dash now. There's 1,001 ways to create an easy landing page without any coding experience that people just say, here's the product, buy. This is the money, this is how much it costs, buy. And then either collect information or collect the money. And today with Paystack, in 3 minutes, now you can open Paystack and start collecting money. So everything is super easy for you right now, right? So that's the only way to test. Now, again, be very, very happy to fail. It's okay to find out people don't want it. It's very fine. It's very fine to realize that, so many Instagram likes and nobody is buying. Then you know, oh, maybe my messaging is wrong. Maybe the product is wrong. Maybe the target market is wrong, right? And then you begin to iterate. But you will not be able to iterate if you've already invested 300,000 to buy to make websites. Do you understand? You have already one code that told you, I can make website for you, small thing. 400K, I'll not pay 400K. People are not buying on that website. They must buy on the website too. Yeah, it's true. They have to buy 400K website. Do we buy? You know that, oh, people would rather chat with me on WhatsApp. You will not chat me on WhatsApp. You chat me on WhatsApp, I will send you the link to the website. You must go to the website. And they say the website is not responsive, you must respond. Go to the website and you will buy on the website. It's 400,000 website, you must work. Right? It has to work. It just has to work. Like you now, you finish getting office, 2 million rented office in Metama. Then people are not coming to the office. People are chatting on Instagram. They must come to the office. You tell them our office is at number 7. We don't sell online. We direct to the office. You must visit the office. That's how you do 2 million office and nobody's coming. You have to come and see that we're rich. That's why we have office in Metama. So we can prove to you that we have money. So you must come to the office. Right? So you get my point. So those things that are cheap, so that when it fails, you're not attacked. You're not paying. You're not like, oh my God, I'm going to come and collect their money from me. Right? Don't order the whole bag carton of rice, the whole trailer of rice, and try to sell it. Try and sell it first before you go order it. Cool? Yeah. All right, great. Okay, last video. Except you want it one whole trailer of rice.
You've done a lot of great work on your canvas, and the result is a business model that you're ready to pitch. Sharing your work with others for the first time can be intimidating. But remember, you know the model inside out, and I'll help you along the way. So go ahead, pitch it. Huh? Ooh, not like that. Showing the model all at once is cognitive murder. There's way too much info there to digest. You wrote it like a story, so tell it like a story, scene by scene. Use sticky notes to fill in the boxes one at a time as you explain them. Go on, try it.
We're going to match retiring baby boomers with overseas retirement communities run by franchisees. These are the 2 customer segments we're targeting.
Good. Now make it even more real for them.
10,000 boomers are retiring every day, like the Andersons, who can barely scrape by in Florida, but can live like kings in Brazil.
Okay, now continue the story with the next logical box.
For the retirees, our value proposition is affordable, high-quality retirement. We've taken the guesswork out of finding an overseas location that will be comfortable, affordable, and fun. And for our franchisees, we'll offer customer acquisition through thousands of high-quality leads.
How will we monetize this? By charging retirees a modest monthly fee and collecting franchising fees. They pay us for both leads and a trusted brand. We already have 5 letters of intent from potential franchisees, valued at over $1 million.
Now reinforce your case by explaining what you learned from your testing. Admitting your failures to investors and partners may seem unorthodox, but it shows your model is stronger for having been real-world tested and adapted.
We also learned from extensive research and some failed pilot offerings that many of our customers aren't just dissatisfied with their retirement options at home, they won't be able to keep up with medical costs either.
You're doing great. Now walk them through the rest of your model.
4 out of 5 customers we spoke to don't trust overseas options. By applying a local brand
Emerging
to
communications technologies, they'll never feel too far away. Services like Skype and FaceTime make connecting with family as easy as pressing a button.
Continue to grow. And though our revenue numbers may seem ambitious, they're based on over $1 million in pre-sales to customers.
By favoring human customer service over services provided through the internet, we become that much more accessible to boomers
So in
who may not
conclusion,
be tech-savvy.
we've tested, failed, adjusted, and we are now convinced the market potential of this model is enormous.
And while our idea is compelling, our business model is what makes us ready to compete on the largest stage.
And that is the story of how Beth and Carl took a great idea and created a great business model. But their story doesn't end here. As their business begins to grow, the canvas remains a valuable tool, growing and evolving with it. With some determination, hard work, and the right business model, this could easily be your story too.
Okay, great. So typically when you want to pitch your idea, of course, you're not going to pitch your business model canvas, right? Like they did in the video. What the equivalent is a pitch deck, right? But the pitch deck basically just talks about the components of your of your business model canvas, right? It talks about what your value, what the problem you identified is and how big that problem is, who is your customer, how big the market is, what's your value proposition, what's the team behind it, what are the activities you're going to do. So it's basically the same thing, your business model, but you put it into a pitch deck. And there are 1001 pitch deck templates online, so you can just Google and you can find one, right? But again, something that's really valuable when you're pitching is being able to tell the story. You're not enough to say, hey, so the problem that we're going to solve is headache, and our solution is painkillers. And we'll buy the painkillers in the market and then we'll sell it in the shop. And you get like that's terribly boring, right? You want to tell a story. You want to be able to say, I'll tell you one of the best, my best pitches that I heard. And in fact, maybe we had the pitch, we gave the guy money immediately. So this guy says, look, I'm a medical doctor, and I was super busy. My mom was diabetic, and anybody that knows diabetes knows that it's an ailment that you have to manage, right? There's no cure for it, but the person needs close monitoring and close management. He said, but because I was busy in the city, I sent her drugs to her and I assumed that she was going to be taking them and she was going to be okay. But guess what? One day they call me and they tell him that his mom is dead, and it really pained him. And the reason why she died was because he wasn't just there to take care of her. And this is not just a single story for him. This is a story of over 100,000 other middle-class people who are just beginning their careers and don't have the time to take care of their parents. And what we've done is we built a product called Gero Care. It's very simple. It's a subscription-based system that allows you to take care of your parents without being there. We assign a doctor to them, and a doctor that visits them regularly and also takes their medical records and lets you know how well your parents are doing. And from the tap of a button on your smartphone, you actually can monitor your parents, know how they're doing, know what medication they're on, know when their medication is going to finish, know what their blood pressure is. Everything you need to know about your parents is right there on your mobile phone for a very, very simple subscription, like 3,000 naira every month. I'm a medical doctor, and I have an army of medical doctors all around the country that are joining me to do this, to ensure that healthcare is accessible to every mother and every father who has a child in the city who's busy trying to make ends meet. Do you invest? Right? So you can see that from this, he told you about the problem, but he told you his connection to the problem, why he cares deeply about the problem. It's a personal problem for him, right? Because his mom died and he doesn't want anybody else to suffer the same loss that he suffered. But then he's also able to do it because why? He's a doctor. So it's not like, okay, and your mom died and then what? Do you know anything about medicine? I'm a doctor. It's also possible that you're not a doctor. It's possible that, look, I'm a tech person or I'm just a normal person, but I have a doctor who I've partnered with to get this done, right? But my point is, he told it as a story. We bought into the story, we invested in it. So when you're pitching, there's a session on that course I do business storytelling and how like the kinds of stories to tell and how to tell stories and how to get people emotionally connected with your story. So you can see that, for example, you saw how I told about this Gero Care and you guys all got connected to it. You saw that in this whole class, one of the times all of you paid attention when I talked about my mom. Do you remember? I saw the way your attention just changed and listened. Oh my God. Why? Why? It's personal. It's a story. Everyone likes to hear stories. I'm sure many people leave here, one of you remember like, that guy is mom and pastors. Mom and pastors. I'm sure all of you remember the mom and pastors. Right? You might not remember value proposition or anything, but mom and pastors. Right? Why? Because it's a story. The same way your pitch, if you put it into a story, it makes your pitch even memorable. Sometimes you might have to create a story. Right? So sometimes from great people, you hear something. Let me tell you the story of Iyabo. Iyabo is a 20-year-old, blah, 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 blah. Iyabo struggles with this. But Iyabo's story is not an isolated story. Why do we tell you that? It just give you statistics. 20 million Nigerians have problem with this. And that's what many people do. That's why their pitch are not memorable and nobody wants to listen. People skip over after the second slide. But tell me about Iyabo and walk me through how Iyabo is going to use your product, how Iyabo is struggling today, and how Iyabo is going to use your product, how your product is going to make a difference in Iyabo's life. Then tell me that Iyabo is just one out of 50 million other Iyabos in the country. See, Mr. Phillips' attention is also wrapped, right? So that's how you do your pitch, right? So maybe one day we'll do a session on business storytelling. Am I that boring? Oh my God. I'm angry, I'm going home. Okay, any question in general, anything about your business, anything at all? I'll take questions now. Where's the microphone? Online people, you can go. Bye-bye. I love you. That questions. No, if you have online, you have questions, don't ask. All right, if you have questions, I'll go last slide. First of all, before we ask questions, okay, then let me recap. Remember again, the business model is a one-page business plan, right? You talk about the value proposition, but remember, always start with the problem that you're trying to solve. Think about the problem before you go into your value prop. Your customers, be very detailed. Who exactly are you targeting? Remember, it's better for a few people to love your product than for many people to like your product. So target the people that would love it, that would be evangelists for your product, and will tell more people about it. Relationships is how they will hear about your product and how you're going to engage with them. Remember, again, we said for relationships, if it's a luxury product, you want to do personalized, you want to do customized, right? That's why in the club, they'll do Dorime. There's a guest house I worked at, very, very hype, bro, high class guest house. Like we had up to the the president's wife of South Africa stay there. Now in that guest house, every guest has a butler. Like you have someone assigned to you 24 hours. Anything you need, anything at all you need, the person gets it. But even what's better is that before you come, there's a dossier about you that the person has already read. So the person knows what exactly you like, when you like it, and how you like it. So before you get there, your fridge is already stocked with the drinks that you like. We already know the menu that you like to eat. We know the things you are allergic to, everything. So as you're coming, you're like, hey, welcome, sir. Thank you. Well, how was the flight? We know the flight you came with. How was B? We know the class. You know you flew private or it was first class. We're engaging with you on that already. We know your kids. We know how many kids you have. We know what class they are. We know what school they go to. So it's like, yes, because it's a customized service. So you're not coming and introducing yourself again, all over again. We know that you're allergic to mints. So we know how you like your glass. We know what kind of glass cup you like. So you're not bothered about, oh, I don't like this. You never don't like anything. Everything there you like because we did a research on you and we knew what you like, right? So, but that's premium. That's high. That's super premium, right? And then if it's mass market, remember it's automated. You can't do premium. You have to do automated, right? Channels, how are you going to get to you? How are they going to get to you? How are they going to get to them? Remember again, if it's premium, you want to go to them. If it's customer, you want them to come to you because it's so much easier to manage, right? Then revenue streams, all the ways you can make money. Remember, sometimes there's a main way, there's a main product, but remember, always think about value-added services. What other thing can I layer on it and charge more money for it? It's always easier to upsell an existing client than to acquire a new client, right? So once you have one client, milk it for all you've got, right? And then key activity, what are the key things you must do for your business to run? Key resources, what are the key things you must have for a business to run? Remember, again, at the beginning, you don't want to spend a lot of money. So do things cheaply. Find cheaper ways to get stuff done. There's one thing we need to tell startups. Don't buy what you can borrow, and don't borrow what you can get for free. Don't buy what you can borrow, and don't borrow what you can get for free. So every startup, the first negotiation we start with is, how can I get it for free? How can I give you something else in exchange? Right? So it's not because you don't have money. No, it's like, yes, I have money, but I need to use the money for something else. So if I need a venue, I can come on, Mr. Philip, I need a venue. The venue say, hey, 70K, Mr. Venue, but Mr. Philip, I have contacts, I have friends. My event is going to bring in some high-class people here. Those people are potential clients of your artwork and of your space. So how about we do this? How about I give you 5 minutes, 10 minutes in my session to come and speak to my audience and then give them a tour of your place and let's do it for free. If you think about it, okay, 50K is the space, but potentially I can sell 500K from this deal if I play my cards right. Okay, maybe I can tell me what kind of people are coming again. I said, okay, it's the country managers of INGOs. This, oh my God, okay. Maybe how about we do a partnership? How often do you have this program? Every month. Come and do it here every month. Free. Right? Why? Value exchange. It doesn't mean I can't pay for the space, but now I've gotten the space for free. Right? So remember, don't buy what you can borrow, don't borrow what you can get for free. Right? If your friend has a Canva premium account, tell them to add you. Don't go and pay for Canva premium. Don't make sense. Right? We know how to do it for our personal self, we can't do it for our business. When it's Netflix, I would say, please, you have login, you have Netflix login, but we don't do it for our business, right? So now begin to think about it for your business. If your friend has an office, don't get on that office. You need address, get his address. Tell him that, please, I'll use office address as my address. I don't need anything. Just if someone come and ask you that, do we work here? Say yes. just call me, just text me on the phone and say they're looking for you, right? You don't need another office, right? So Key resources, the key things. Partners, what are the things that you don't have to do yourself in your activities? Outsource those things or partner with people to do those things for you, right? And then cost structure, what are all the things you're spending money on? Remember, as you go in, test this, as you validate, you fail, you change, you evolve, you modify until you have something that works. Cool? All right, last slide. Before we go into questions. This is my social media, Twitter and Instagram, mostly Instagram, hardly on Twitter. And you can ask me any questions anytime, engage, DM, and I would answer questions. I also have like some sessions, some free sessions where we just invite people to come and speak about stuff. The last one we did was getting your first check. We brought some guys who had raised about $500K, $1 million, and we just talked about how they got their first investment. So some interesting stuff happens on my page, so you can follow and you can chat. And now you can ask me any question. Great. All right, questions. Was this helpful? Was it beneficial to you? Great, awesome. Anything at all, anything about your business, not just this. Any question online? I know, like we 1 hour more than we expected. Thank you so much for waiting. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow for the last session. I'm not going to be here, hopefully. All right.
Where's our big con?
Start with why you do what you do, why you do this. Because like I said yesterday, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do what you do. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do what you do. So it is very, very important to always have your why in mind. And that why maybe adding value to the people, maybe you see a problem, you want to solve them. Money is important, of course, but when you don't have to go into business or into entrepreneurship solely for the money, that's, I think, one of the very key areas that we are missing. Most of us go into business or into entrepreneurship for the money. We don't go for the why. Why do we do what we do? We are always looking for a paycheck. So that's why sometimes we think we are missing it. So always start with your why. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your contribution. Remember, again, I said I'm very controversial, right? So pardon me. It's okay if you're going to business just for the money. It's okay. It's okay. For a very long time, my why was I don't want to be hungry. And that's a very strong why. Sapaphobia, very, very, very strong why. Let me tell you why it's a strong why for me, right? It's a strong why for me because it means that I will evolve. There's been military tactics where you surround an enemy, right? And it worked for quite a while until people realize that it's a very bad tactic because desperate people will do anything. So they now created a tactic where you surround the enemy and leave a similitude of a place to escape. Then you go and block that place. But they can't see the block. So as long as people are fighting double-minded, thinking that if it don't work, we can quickly exit, they will never give their all. But when everybody knows that, man, we die here, we die, we die here. It's a place that will not. It's a place that is not we die here that will be telling you that I don't sell dodo without meat. If we die here, we'll sell you all the dodo. We're going to buy all the dodo. We're selling. Go and buy dodo. Go and bring more plantain from the house. Dodo don't finish for market. No, you get. So for me, it's yes. Sometimes you want to find that very philosophical why that's very great and it's good. Like if you're going to build a massive business at the end of the day, you're going to have that why, or you have to form the why, or you have to lie about the why. Whichever one, right? You can just figure out that, oh my God, now gender equality is big. I'm just going to tell you a very great story about gender equality. I'm saying like, look, I believe in women and I believe that women are the future and that women educate their kids. And that's why we built this business. This business is built around women. I really don't care about women, honestly, but like you sell, women sell. So all I'm saying is like, yes, and yeah, and I may be saying, look, it's business. At the end of the day, you have to make money. Hobby is fine. Like if it's your hobby, like again, like you can do whatever it's a hobby. A hobby is good. And a good wife for hobbies, like I love it. I love to do it, and that's good. But when you come to the market, what the customer loves that matters, though. And how do you provide that value to the customer, right? So, like I said, I'm just very controversial. Like,
thank you so much. Sorry, class. We're just going to quickly
take a picture.
Yeah. There's lunch downstairs, so this is from something. And then you can give me shout or upload
Okay, 2 more questions. If there's any, then we'll take a picture. If there's any, if there's none, it's fine. Questions? None. Going, 1, going, 2, gone. All right.